So I tell the guy, I'm like, look, man, I'm not going to buy that.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it.
You just
Did you steal it again like usual?
Yeah,
or?
I just took it from him. Yeah.
All right.
What else?
Disregard. Don't look.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, hello.
How is
What's
everybody
He
doing?
was there the whole time. Everybody saw it.
Are those the chat? Are those chats live?
Those are live chat. I think they're. Yes. Right.
All right.
Yes. Yo ho ho.
South
For
Africa.
whatever it-
Yo ho.
South
ho.
Africa.
South Africa?
South Africa. All right. Welcome to Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. It's Friday. Oh, that's the Friday one. Whatever. Wednesday. What is it? May 20th, 2026.
Woof.
Yep.
Year of our gourd.
It's going quick. Even though we are in a living state of hell, it is going quick.
I mean, aside from that,
I can't
everything's
believe,
fine.
yeah, it's almost June.
Well, let's talk about the living hell that is happening. Okay, NYT Acupuncture.
Yep.
I'm writing the email, and the subject line is the NYT falls for pricks. Anybody? No? All right.
Nice.
Thank you. It's a pun. All right. Ebola and Hanto. We'll talk about that a little bit. Vit's okay. Try to determine what that
Oh,
means.
hi.
Okay,
Nice.
and Madison, Wisconsin show.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that real quick at the top, and then TikToks.
All right, so we're
welcome,
gonna
everybody.
we get into an airplane and we fly to Madison.
We're not
Wisconsin.
driving?
We're actually not flying to Madison.
We're
Wisconsin.
flying to
We're
Milwaukee.
flying to Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
And then
Milwaukee.
driving to Madison.
Milwaukee to me, it's like this sounds like a beer.
Did
You
you
know
know,
what I mean?
Milwaukee comes from the Milwaukee?
Yes, don't they make beer in Milwaukee?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They must.
Anybody know the
was
Wayne's
that
World
Laverne and
reference I'm
Shirley?
talking
Was that where they were?
Schlemiel,
Yeah.
Schlemazel.
Yeah, I guess they
Haas
were.
and Pfeffer
That's what probably
Incorporated.
it is. Yeah, so we are going to we fly out on the 29th. That's a Friday.
That's a Friday.
That night we're going to be doing our super secret meetup.
Which the tickets are still available, and also I think people were asking about like an upgrade because they had You mentioned it on the show. An upgrade.
Yeah, there's a
if you
combo
have
ticket
private. Yes,
for
a
the
combo.
Friday night get together and the private show plus Saturday.
Yeah, so it's a little bit cheaper if you do both. Blah,
That's
blah,
correct.
So you can do that. There's also an upgrade version. So check out the events page, and there's 2 buttons for the combo and the upgrade. Boom.
And then
No spoilers for boys, guys.
Oh yeah, we haven't.
I didn't see
watched it all.
I'm
Yeah,
caught
not
up.
done yet.
I didn't see the last
Schlitz.
episode yet.
Is that a spoiler for the boys? Should I ban this person?
No,
Schlitz?
no,
I know,
Schlitz
it's
is-
a beer. I know. Just kidding.
and then Ian, you asked me a question.
I'm sorry. Go
Then
ahead.
the 30th we're going to be doing a private show in the morning.
Correct.
And then we will be doing at the same venue, right? So the venue for that night is, I forgot, the Atwood. The Atwood.
Music Hall, I believe.
Yep, so that's where the private show is going to be. And then that night we'll do the VIP, and then we will do the extravaganza.
Wow.
Yes.
lot
That's a
stuff
hell
this
of a
weekend.
weekend, man. What do we got to... So we're doing a private show, but also are we doing another? How many private shows are we doing?
One.
Just that one. We
Yes.
got to just prep one news item for
Yeah.
one day. All right.
one
It's
day.
very likely that we will be
one
doing
day.
some new bits for the extravaganza.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
we
true.
had
got
a
few
very
little things.
productive meeting. Yeah,
What
it's going to be a
else?
fun weekend. And then after that, Ian, because it just, the list goes on this year. It's like
It sure
crazy.
does.
And then what?
Psycon is
Psycon,
Which is like what? 12 days after Madison.
not too, yeah. It's
Damn,
right on
man.
the heels. I got our hotel confirmation.
Yep, I saw that.
We have our airline tickets. We are going to be flying up on Thursday, the Thursday before.
Thursday.
It is the first day of the conference, but it's all like
Mm-hmm.
they're doing like tours and stuff, I think, on that day. And
It's in
then
Buffalo, New York, y'all.
yeah, and then we will also be doing a conference after hours extravaganza there. That's a ticketed event if you're interested and you happen
Man.
to live in that area, or you're coming in for the conference and you haven't seen us do the show. Now's your chance. And then
And
The
then,
whole
big one.
Australia,
New Zealand.
L.A.
LA, Sydney, Christchurch.
Yeah, we have
Wow.
lots of
Gosh.
stuff going on.
What
It's
a
so many
nutty-
things to list. I mean, look, we're doing multiple shows in each city.
Yeah.
So the best thing for you to do is just go to the website, go to events, and just take a look because we're going to be doing a very unique thing in LA. We're doing a combo private show / type of extravaganza type of programming. It's not the extravaganza, but we're going to be pulling some, the vibe and maybe even one of the bits from that.
There'll
Just-
be it'll be extravaganza-like
Yes.
content.
And that is there's 4 hours of content. I think overall it's 5 hours because I give you guys an hour for lunch.
Yeah,
You guys should just
it's like
follow
a mini
us.
conference almost.
You guys
Yeah.
should just follow us to every gig. Be like groupies.
Yeah.
Can we have SGU
Yeah, what's the SGU
groupies?
equivalent of deadheads?
I don't. Skep
Yeah.
Talks.
Ian,
I don't
until
know.
I see a
Skep-tots.
school bus filled with a bunch of people doing whippets, I won't believe any of this.
so are
Is
we
that the drug of choice for skeptics?
are we beaming to Madison or are we? How are we getting?
We're
Did
flying.
we
Flying.
decide?
No, that was for Psycon. We were talking about whether we were going to drive or fly.
Yeah.
And
Right, yeah,
I
I'm in
think we're gonna
Psycon.
fly.
Sorry.
We actually didn't finalize that, Steve.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we'll talk about
Let's
that.
finalize
Let's talk
that.
about that off
Yeah, we
air.
gotta- we
we
gotta
can talk
talk
about that
about
off
I
air.
think we
But
should
for
just
anybody who
beam there.
lives in Buffalo, New York, or Madison, Wisconsin, who's also coming, let us know some places to eat if you think there's any specific place that we should try.
Skepdorks.
Skepdorks. That's funny. If there's anything that you recommend in those venues, because we may do like an IRL stream. I'm going to try to bring the IRL backpack to test it for the Australia and New Zealand stuff. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, we will be sightseeing in New Zealand. We have about 4 days in between the two conferences as we're making our way south from Auckland. Yeah, it's going to be cool. We're really looking forward to it.
And I will try to stream
Ooh.
some of those.
Somebody from Venice.
Oh, awesome.
Venezia.
Yeah, but
The Venice Lagoon, Italy. I've never really heard that before. Have you? The Venice Lagoon?
No.
no.
But Venice, Liz and I were there a year and a half ago. Oh my God, Venice is wonderful.
Set up a skeptic event and we'll come.
So amazing. Oh my God.
Before it sinks into the sea.
Venice is amazing.
It's amazing.
Italy has a ton to offer. It's amazing. The cities
Yeah.
there. They're so different and they're all beautiful, and the amount of art that there is to see, and the breads, the cheeses, Ian,
Oh, Jesus. The bread with no salt.
Isn't it? Yeah.
That's
Isn't that
only in Florence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Florence.
Those bastards.
You're not supposed to
situation.
eat it plain.
I mean,
Yeah, you're
think
supposed
of
to
the
put stuff
irony
on
of
it.
this. Just trip out on this. My
All right.
favorite city in the whole world,
Yeah.
Which
Florence.
Has
Florence,
terrible
Italy.
bread.
And it is the
It's-
one city where I don't like the bread. Like, you got to be, the irony is mind blowing.
I don't like the streets.
It's all
in
about
Florence.
the toppings.
What?
The
Bob, it's a walking city,
This-
dude.
in Florence,
Where's it
the
going?
sidewalks are this wide. You're walking on a sidewalk, and then here's a car flying by
but
you.
you gotta-
A bike. Right, it's like the sidewalks are annoying
To
as hell.
stay in the inner city where there are no cars in the inner city. You just walk
See,
around.
we were like right near the Duomo. It was we could see it from the roof of our hotel. We're not that far.
Yeah.
Walking there, I'm just saying the sidewalks were annoying.
You prefer Rome?
Yeah, Rome, it was much wider, and even better, Venice. There's no cars. You just walk wherever you want.
Those
Yeah, but people
gondolas
get
will
hit by
you, though.
boats all the time. man.
There's your
For a
problem.
walking city, there's no beating Venice.
Yeah, maybe.
I kindly disagree.
I've never been to either, so
Neither
that'd
of
be
you
a thing.
have been to Sicily.
No,
Not yet. No.
Sicily is
Italy.
gorgeous.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah, driving. You know, Italy has this thing where they chart. If you make a wrong turn, and you end up in like I think the signs are blue, like a yellow line going through, if I'm remembering correctly. And if you enter one of those zones, that's $100, $150.
Really?
And God forbid you get, you're lost and you're trying to make your way around and then you leave and you come back at whatever. Like, man, I'm telling you, last time I went to Florence, I owed like $500 worth of like these minor driving infractions. And they're like, and you're not coming back until you pay it. Like, you know what I mean? Very,
Wow.
very
I didn't know
inconvenient.
that.
I guess
Jeez.
we're not
You were
coming back.
driving in Florence?
Yeah, like, oh yeah. I was driving on the side where the Pitti Palace is, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
our
yeah.
hotel was right there. We had an Airbnb.
That was
It was
beautiful.
right there, and that is that part. There is you can drive because you're not in the inner city. And I drove my car down the wrong road. That's it, and I got dinged. And it happened many times. It just because you don't know, because we're not locals. We don't know the area. We don't know
Yeah.
like you really would have to like map your route and look at it on Google Maps to make sure you don't see any of those
Tokyo's a
signs.
walking city.
Tokyo,
would be
yeah.
cool.
We're going to be there soonish.
One day.
Maybe next year.
27.
Yeah.
New York City should be
Cannot
a
wait.
walking city. They need to make.
agree.
They have to have some type of public transportation as the only allowed transportation inside the city, and make it really good and really fast and really
Scooters.
clean.
Uh,
Scooter.
I don't know about. All right, so what should we get to? What did I talk about? The topics? Oh yeah, so there was the NYT acupuncture thing. I know you guys talked about it on the show, but I figured we might as well talk about it a little bit since people were asking us. We missed last week. Sorry about that. It was some stuff, mostly.
Yeah,
my
so
fault.
I mean, I wrote about it on neurological and science-based medicine,
Yeah, I
and then
have
Mark
those.
Crystal also wrote about it on
Yeah,
science-based
here's.
medicine.
Also become a patron on science-based medicine, please. Okay, NYT
did-
epic fail on acupuncture.
It was an epic fail, yeah.
Epic fail. Crazy.
So there was an article about the interstitium, which is fine.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, it's not as
it's a brand new organ, Steve.
It's we knew it, so it's basically the connective tissue around organs and stuff, and we knew that it existed, and it was discovered that it looks like these are all interconnected in like another fluid system in the body. That's it. That's basically it.
Well, what's the fluid?
It's like
It's that
Water.
alien. It's that alien
It's,
blood.
5W30.
But
it's saline.
so
Oh wait, sorry, TikTok. You don't have.
I'm confused. Like, so they found like a sub-liquid system in the human body for the first time.
No,
No.
there's connective tissue around your organs, and that connective tissue is like fibrous tissue. And of course, everything is filled with water, right?
Right, right.
Or, yeah, some,
With
We're
saline.
ugly bags of mostly water, after all.
And they just found that look, it's not separate.
They're all connected. It's
Interstitia. It's all interconnected. It's one
Unified,
giant
right.
interstitium.
Like an organ.
Yeah, like an organ.
Like an
Okay.
organ.
that's
So
hence the
like the
yeah.
lymphatic system.
what
you
was
know?
different from Chrislop's take to your take?
Actually, I haven't had a chance to read his article yet because I had to write my article
All
this
right.
morning.
All right. Cut that out.
Cut that out.
Yeah,
Edit.
yeah.
Zzz. Well, here, let me
all
play
right.
a TikTok for you because this guy kind of goes into
Yeah.
the wooey stuff of it, and I think he makes the well, not a compelling, but he articulates the wooey thing.
Yeah.
So let's look at it.
So there's a chance that Western medicine just found the chi network. The
There.
network found the
So yeah, that's like the main
Give
thing.
me
But
a
here, let's keep
break.
across the body in Chinese medicine that corresponds to a bunch of meridian points. And it's a new type of circulatory
Good
system
question.
they found. Not the cardiovascular system that we all know and
Got no
love, or the
patience for this
lymphatic
shit
system,
anymore.
but a new system known as the interstitium. The reason scientists couldn't find this for so long was because the way they observed tissue was they would cut the samples out, dry it up, and look under a slide and look at stuff. But the interstitium is a body-wide network of spaces filled with liquid that flows under your skin into your organs and between your muscles. But every time you cut tissue, it drains out. You don't notice anything. It looked like just connective tissue. They didn't realize it was a network thing throughout the body. Some scientists were considering it a new kind of organ, but the path of the interstitium, as they saw with fluids running through the system, correspond with the meridian points. And because it taps into the organs, now you can see how it's connected. This doesn't prove it definitively, not yet, but it might be a partial explanation for how acupuncture signals work and how they are moving throughout the body. But
Right,
when it
so
was dead,
I'm going to
Work
go out
is
on a
doing-
limb here,
work is
Ian,
doing a lot.
and
Oh.
say that this person is not a medical professional.
Well,
okay.
I mean,
And I want to say this. So,
dare you.
so that person is reading information that came from someone who was reading information that came from yet another layer, right? Like, you know,
Yeah.
if you do
It's like
the trickle down,
tertiary.
yeah,
you
he's
know,
getting like
source.
yeah,
like a much lower level and simplified report on what this thing is, right? Which most of us, you know, it's written that way so the average person can understand it. It doesn't get too technical or whatever. And then he's going, okay, so I read this article that was written by a guy that wrote an article from another guy, and I am now going to, you know, overlay my
Yeah.
pseudoscience
And
on
each
top
time
of
it
this.
gets iterated, it becomes more and more
Photocopier
impressive
style,
towards
yeah.
the narrative that's being told. It's all, what that guy said. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
So I mean, we knew about the interstitia. It's not like we did. It was, you know, hiding in plain sight or something. We just demonstrated that they were more interconnected than we thought, and it doesn't correspond to fucking anything. So. This is the study.
from the meridian point.
Hit me, Steve. Give
perspective,
us
like
the
acupuncture.
give us
First
the
of all,
info.
there is no
Get
chi. It doesn't exist. There are no meridians.
You can't prove that.
Yes, we could prove it as much as you could prove. We could prove it as much as we could prove like there are no unicorns or leprechauns.
What?
Wait a
Talk to
second now.
Scotland
Wait,
and
yeah,
Ireland.
Ian,
about
Hold
Eskimos?
on, hold on.
Ian,
Scotland and
Eskimos.
delete this episode. I
Okay,
can't be
I can't.
associated with this nonsense.
All right.
What about Eskimos?
Yes, okay.
You were the third. on that one.
That was from The Simpsons,
Yeah, The
right?
Simpsons.
Yes.
Like leprechauns and Eskimos. But anyway,
Homer.
so this is the study that the New York Times quoted. So if you inject dye into the interstitium,
Yes.
like in the wrist, it moves up the arm.
And not through the blood, though.
No, through the interstitium.
Okay.
Right, to show like, so where else could it possibly go, right?
Yeah.
Except up the arm.
Right, right.
So they said, look, there's a meridian there, so it's following the meridian. No, it's not. It's just going the only place it could fucking go, which is up the
It's
arm.
not going this way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Of course it's going to
And
go
it doesn't
up
even
there.
really correlate that well.
Jumps
You know what I
to-
mean? It was like,
Yeah.
it's just like generally in the same direction, which is the only direction there is to go.
Yeah.
But there is no actual correlation between, whatever was recorded in the past about where the meridians are, and the interstitium just goes everywhere. You
But
know
it's-
what I mean?
it's just-
there are no meridians in the interstitium.
Is there even any agreement where the meridians exactly are?
Not really.
No.
It's all culture.
Yeah.
It's all tradition, and
Depends on who you're talking to. You know, the thing is,
they
this
can't
is-
even
this is
agree
what-
on where the points are, what they mean, or what they do.
Like
or
all of
anything.
these stupid ass claims based on people who are, it's full of just assumptions and conjecture and all that stuff. Like, come on, enough is enough. This shit's been around these claims about chi and the meridians and acupuncture and all this stuff have been around for a very long
Well,
time.
be careful.
Yeah.
Because they've only been around for 100 years.
That's a long time, Steve.
yeah.
Like,
well, but people said they're around for thousands.
No,
of
no, no,
years.
I know,
But that's
you're
all.
right.
That's all stuff that yes, it was kind of acupuncture, but again, there were different traditions and different beliefs that were like mutually incompatible. That all got retconned.
But what am I about to say right now? It's about time. Just show us the goddamn money.
Well, there's been
Just
thousands
let's see
of
it.
studies.
Let's see it.
There's
And
been
finally,
thousands of studies that can't prove that it exists or does anything.
the best they have is some guy on TikTok. It's like, come on. Like, this is all complete bullshit. Oh, and I didn't tell you. Oh, my God, I forgot to tell you. Steve in particular. So in my ongoing debate
with the chiropractor.
with the chiropractor guy who I was,
God.
I would still call him my friend. I don't wish ill on him in any way.
Yeah.
We just don't agree on very
They
important
might do.
things. He said that, so we were talking about forces, you know?
Ooh, nuclear forces?
Yeah, essentially like,
real force.
so how the conversation started was I
Normal
said, you're
force?
making a claim that a force exists. And I'm saying that force doesn't exist. The claim doesn't make it exist. What makes it exist is that we need to detect it somehow and measure it somehow and test it somehow. And if all those things are missing, it doesn't exist.
good-
Even if it exists. Do you
Or there's
understand
no
what I'm saying?
evidence for it
Even if it's
existing.
actually there, we can't say it's there until we can detect it. And if we can't see it do its thing, and we can't measure it and all that stuff, then it's all just, I said, legitimate scientists do this all the time. They have suspicions. They come up with some theories.
That's what dark energy is.
Of course, but he's going, he could not accept that. He couldn't accept
course
it. I'm
not.
like, it's basically like, hey, it's cold in this room. Do you think there's a ghost here? That cold doesn't prove that there's a ghost. Now we have to run some experiments and
Yeah.
test it and then falsify our findings, all this stuff, right? So I'll get into all that. And so, so then he says something like, well, we agree that these forces exist. So I'm like, what forces? So he names the forces of the universe. I'm like, yeah, of course. Yeah, I
Earth,
agree that gravity
wind,
exists. Yeah.
fire, no.
Strong force and weak force. I agree. Yeah. We could test all those, right? He said, well, that's it. That's chi. I'm like, no. You
What?
cannot co-opt a force that we can prove exists and say that it is functionally doing the thing that you're making claims where we can't actually see the function. Like, that would be like saying, there's electricity in the wall, and therefore, like, I can think because there's electricity in my body. There's no connection. There is no connection between those two things. You have to show the connection. That's the science part.
Plus, the nuclear forces, strong and weak force, operate over atomic
Exactly,
distances.
exactly.
So then it's either electromagnetic or gravity. Is that what he's talking
It's
about?
only electromagnetic is the only one that could plausibly have a biological effect.
And he'd take any one, Bob. Like, it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
yeah.
Like, so his broad brushstroke on chiropractic and innate intelligence and chi is that it's all nuclear forces down there, all the way fucking down on like the subatomic level. That's where it's coming from. I'm like, okay, fine.
But
That's
that we could say no, it isn't those forces. 'Cause
Yeah.
we can measure those forces and we
exactly.
can see what they're
No,
doing.
but then he's saying like, we have no idea what's going on down there. We can't. I'm like, you're right. There's so much we don't understand, but we do understand enough that we know that we need to be
now
able
he's
to.
making an argument from ignorance.
Of
Yeah.
course, yeah. He doesn't even see it, and he's like claiming that it's aligned with science and all this shit.
Well,
It's like, come on.
he seems especially well adapted to argue from ignorance. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
that's his shtick. it seems.
And he always pulls the straw man on me. He's like, the personal insults will come out flying as well. It's like as soon as I get him, I jockey him into a position where it's like, okay, right? So we've established this, and this, and therefore, and then he insults me. Then I'm riding on the coattails of my brother. I'm like, well, yeah, I am riding on Steve's coattails. He's a genius that I'm related to, and we started a podcast together. He's the smarts guy. All the rest of us are science communicators, but Steve is the big gun, and I admit it. So what?
And Kara.
So what? You know what I mean? Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. And Kara, like
Um,
Kara
He
to
doesn't even wear a tux though. Aren't coattails on tuxes? All right, forget it.
and Kara is also another source. I mean, to hear these two guys talk, particularly when we're not doing the show, because we hear so much great content from you guys when we're not in the show. Anyway, the point is, I'm on a podcast with two freaking people that have doctorates. Yes, and that's perfectly okay. Doesn't nullify my science education and my experience as a science communicator and my skepticism, right?
It doesn't. Your argument's either valid or they're not valid.
Right. It doesn't matter who it's coming from. And,
Yeah.
I always remind him, like, hey, dude, guess what? I am not making any of these decisions. This is what scientists believe. I'm not like in between our chats on Facebook in my office writing this stuff, coming up with this stuff. This is all just basic science.
He doesn't sound like a friend to me, Jay.
Again, if I saw him in person, I haven't seen him in decades. I'd hug him. I would be genuinely happy to see him. But
right.
And I don't believe he is evil in any way. I think he is so utterly misguided. He completely buys into the bullshit. And I'm trying to shine.
And that's his career. I mean,
Oh, yeah, he's a
talk
chiropractor.
talk about
little invested.
motivated reasoning. I mean, geez.
And I always accuse. I'm like, look, man, everything you say I take with a grain of salt because you believe in magic. Okay, and then he's like, well, the fact that you're not spiritual, I mean, that's I pray for you. I'm like, what? Okay, so chi is magic, spiritual power. Okay, and now you're going to pray for me. Are you praying for me with your chi, or is you praying to God and wanting God to send me a different kind of energy power?
He's sending you nuclear.
I don't know.
force.
It's all very interesting to me just to see what he comes up with.
Well, let's see if there's anything else that's connected here. Was there anything else to say about this epic fail? I mean,
Read the articles.
read the articles.
Listen to the show.
Yeah, the links. Basically, it's the last, or was it yesterday?
You see that picture of that guy?
Last week? Yeah.
I've always wondered, was that a real person?
No.
Was that just like, I'm going to draw someone culturally that looks like, someone
I
in...
mean,
We have no idea.
Yeah.
no idea.
But maybe.
The guy
maybe
might
we
have used
do.
a model. Might have
Might
just.
He was a model. He was a
model.
Wait, well, how do you know
He did it.
AI didn't just make that?
No, I've
last
seen
week?
that. I've been seeing that same image, Bob, for decades.
Or there's,
Okay.
yeah, there's the images. Like
I've
that.
used it for decades.
That
no,
exact
it's
image?
It's awesome.
That exact
It really
image.
is
All right.
awesome. It tells a lot in just
So
one.
it's on SBM also, and then also Neurologica. The original article is on NYT, New York Times
New York Times Magazine. actually.
magazine. You're right, that's true. All right. let's go move on. So there were some seeming possible pandemics that are.
Oh yeah, we're gonna die.
Way,
We're gonna
right?
die.
You guys
No,
seen
no
what's happening?
pandemics.
No okay.
How about epidemics?
But the
The,
media
no, not even
said-
epidemics. They're outbreaks.
yeah. Okay,
So that's
outbreaks.
the hierarchy, right? An outbreak is a localized outbreak of an infectious disease. An epidemic is when you have an extended outbreak, basically that spreads beyond a local region. And
Right.
a pandemic is worldwide.
What if we colonize Mars and Earth
The
infects
Mars-edemic?
Mars? What's beyond
Oh, that's,
pandemic?
yeah, that's,
Exodemic.
panspermidemic.
Metademic? Metademic. I like
That's
that.
like exodemic.
I like
Exodemic.
panspermidemic.
Panspermidemic.
Grimbeard yet again made me laugh. He goes, "If chi isn't real, then how does a Hadouken work? You know, from Street Fighter."
Hadouken. All right, so the NBC is Okay, hold on. Steve Karnacki, get out of here. And fucking Karnacki in his khakis. NBC is saying that the WHO, the WHO, is declaring a global health emergency over Ebola outbreak in Congo and Uganda. I don't think the WHO said it in that language.
So the
but-
WHO said it's an outbreak. They are not recommending that we close international borders.
Right.
Okay.
So there's at this point no time to panic, but it is a serious outbreak of a strain of Ebola that is one of the lesser common ones. It's not that old.
Now, is this
Yeah,
like
so let me interject there because just to put it in context.
Yeah.
So in terms of Ebola, the one you really don't want to get is the Zaire strain.
Yeah.
Is that the one that liquefies your organs or something?
Yeah, it's hemorrhagic fever,
Yeah.
and it's 60 to 90% fatal. That's the one that's most studied. It's also most common in terms of outbreaks.
Now, do they have
After-
medicine for that? Like,
Yes, they actually do. They actually do
Yeah.
have a vaccine that kind of works. After that is the Sudan strain of Ebola virus. That's 40 to 60% fatal. Nasty, but not as bad as Zaire. This is the oh Jesus.
Jesus.
Booty Bujo. This is the
Oh,
Booty
sh-
Bujo
oh, Jesus.
Ebola virus. This is 20 to 45% fatal.
That's still really
Still
bad.
bad.
Pretty bad,
Still bad, but
just by comparison to something
Right.
even worse. But also, like, in terms of like spreading and killing people, if you kill people too fast, it's not really
Right.
Like,
it has to be slow enough.
But
to
that's
spread.
the classic. Ebola was
You know the moment
basically
the
that, Steve, because it would screw you up so fast that it really couldn't spread
Yeah.
that far.
All right. So how fast is this one?
So one of the problems with this one is that when
no vaccine.
there's no vaccine first of all,
No
but,
treatment.
but one of the problems initially was that this person was showing these symptoms, so they tested him
not
for
ranking
like I
the
think it was
strains.
the Zaire virus, and it was negative. So they're like, all right, it's not Ebola. So for basically a month, it just kind of like spread and spread. Then they did the real test and said, holy crap, this is Ebola. It's Booty Bujo virus.
Yeah.
And they'd had that month. That's why it's so bad. That's part of the reason why it's so bad is that they gave a negative Ebola test, and it's like, man, but it was a different type of
So
Ebola.
if that came to the United States,
So all right,
what would that look like?
let's put it this way. So why are we always seeing so many outbreaks of Ebola? Do you know why?
Yes.
Why?
Insects.
No, but you're close.
Lions.
It's because there's animal. We just have to say
Yeah.
there's
Animal
animal
reservoir,
reservoirs.
yeah.
Okay.
There are- right. So this is mostly hitting villages and towns that are surrounded by jungle and have
Right.
a lot.
and then
So so they couldn't catch it from literally the animals
Yes.
that are out there. Okay.
right, like, but I think fruit bats are
Yeah. So you're
Which
never
is
we're
very
never going to be able to
sad, but
eradicate
also
it. It's just out there.
Well,
some
we just
other
kill all
animals.
the animals.
Yeah.
Well, the other problem, Steve, is what makes it worse is the funeral practices and
Yeah.
healthcare workers are two big reasons why it also
So
spreads.
so what primarily determines how big an outbreak is what? What do you think?
Well, early detection. I mean, early confirmation of what,
There are
what
things
you're
that we
dealing
could
with.
do to mitigate it, but ultimately, the size of the outbreak
It depends on how catchy it is.
No, we're talking about Ebola.
Well, is it the funeral practices? Because part of that is
So-
like they're touching the dead body and
But yeah, all of that is true of all of the outbreaks, though,
Right.
right? So what?
but it's not the deciding
So
most.
it basically is determined by the size of
the.
Oh, you know, Jay.
I know
He
what he's gonna
knows.
say.
He just
the
waiting.
size of the village,
Village,
that
yes.
it gets exposed to.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Why?
So
Well, think about it. I mean,
so think about it this way: if it infects a village, you're going to have an outbreak of tens of people, maybe up to 100 people or so, right? Those are like the smallish outbreaks.
Yeah.
40, 50 people died or whatever. If it gets into like a town, then it's hundreds of people. If it gets to a large town or a small city, it's thousands of people. If it gets to a big city, it's tens of thousands. It could be, then it just keeps going. And if it gets into the other thing is if you get to like a city, really
Like
of any
a
size that's
transportation hub.
interconnected, then you could be talking millions of people, right? So that
Which
hasn't happened yet.
But we've had tens of thousands.
2018,
2017.
That's because it got into a big town.
How does it spread?
It spreads by
Direct
fluids,
fluid
Direct
contact.
fluid contact.
So
yeah.
wait, now would that be, saliva particles floating through the air?
No, not in the air. If it's on the person or on a surface.
All right, so don't touch anything or anybody.
Right.
Yeah, that will help
Basically.
tremendously.
That's why you see
That'll
them
be
in the
easy.
suits, So it's really every time there's an outbreak, it's a roll of the dice. And if somebody from that outbreak goes to a hospital in a city, nearby,
Yeah.
and it starts to spread in that city, suddenly we have an epidemic on our hands.
Yeah.
And if somebody travels from that city, then we can have a pandemic on our hands. Now, the World Health Organization their job is to keep these outbreaks contained so that doesn't happen. But they, historically have not been on the ball fast enough for this. They do a great job, but haven't been proactive enough. And this led to in 2000, I forget the year, like 10, 15 years ago, we had that biggest outbreak.
Yeah.
It's because they were reacting too slow because they didn't have the resources in place. And so they likened it to, like a fire department. But they were saying this is like building the fire department in response to the fire.
Yeah.
You kind of have to have the fire department
Yeah.
ready to
First.
go when the fire breaks
If
out.
only we had like a virus team of people that were trained
so
to handle this stuff.
Since that time, the World Health Organization has tried to build the fire department. They're trying to build the response team so that they could jump on these outbreaks more quickly, and they have been doing that, and it has been successful. However, the U.S. just pulled out of the World Health Organization, and they're like firing half their staff. They're firing like 2,000 people or 2,500
Yeah,
people.
what could go wrong?
So we're gutting the organization that is primarily responsible for keeping these outbreaks from turning into epidemics. And
Well, it sounds from what you just said, though, that the U.S. was disproportionately funding this.
We
thing.
were.
Yeah,
we
there's
were.
a lot of other countries out there
Right.
that could help.
yeah, but we
right?
just pulled the carpet out from under
Well,
them.
I'm
It's
not
not
saying
like
that's
we
good.
transitioned.
Yeah.
We just like, we're out,
Yeah. No. I mean, I'm 100% against that, but still, whether if it happens in Africa as an example, and like it's getting really bad, and then it starts to spread, everybody's on the hook.
That's the whole point with any infectious disease. It's everything is our problem,
Yeah.
right? And so it's actually cost effective for us to stop these outbreaks in Africa,
Right.
Because if they do get out of there, like think about the COVID times 1,000. I mean, it could be.
If it was
an
a
Ebola
90
pandemic would be civilization.
So aren't we
threatening.
developing with the mRNA platform like vaccines for this? No?
Well, Ebola Zaire's got a decent. I don't know how good that vaccine is.
But it's
for
not
it.
but not. And do we have enough
For
waiting
millions? Probably
to-
not.
Yeah,
Probably not.
to inoculate billions. And this strain doesn't even have a vaccine.
a few days of the freaking U.S. war, that money would be able to pay this in spades.
Yeah.
Oh
you know?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, have you guys read the Hot Zone?
No.
Yeah.
We were talking about earlier an airborne Ebola that actually did happen. It did happen in Reston, Virginia. They imported some macaques, like lab monkeys, and they started developing Ebola. They were having an experience. They were dying, hemorrhagic fever, all that stuff.
What'd they do?
And some of the workers tested positive for antibodies, so they caught it, and they determined that the only way they could have caught it, some of the humans or some of the macaques, was because it mutated and became airborne. So we're talking about an airborne Ebola. How scary is that? But it turns out that it was deadly to the macaques, but not to people. The people that contracted that Reston Ebola virus didn't get sick. So it wasn't a problem. And it also wasn't. It was monkey to human transmissible, but not human to human.
Okay.
So,
But still, we're one mutation away. You
But
know?
still, if this happened to Zaire, if Zaire mutates in a way that that it is airborne and also human to human, which is another big ask. I don't know how hard that would be. That would be basically, you know, the Stephen King's The Stand scenario. I
Yeah.
mean, that's maybe not quite as bad as that,
Captain
but still
Trips.
60 to 90% fatality.
You know, if only we had time
without
to
vaccines
to prepare. I mean, it's like, come
Yeah, I
on,
know.
why? You know, like I'm not an expert in basically everything. Let's just put it that way, right? The minimal expertise I have in things, and it's so easy to see what we need to do, what needs to happen here. Like,
Oh, everyone knows. I mean, they were saying we need to have these, prepared teams who zoom in, when you have an outbreak like this and contain it as quickly as possible.
but have we sequenced all of it? And like, if we did
yeah, that's
dump
happening.
money,
It's all happening. Yes, that's why we have a vaccine for some of the strains.
oh man, so frustrating.
But it's all a matter of how many resources are we going to dedicate to it, and you know what I mean. And it's just not enough. It's not enough because right now, it's very easy to say, well, this is something that happens in Africa.
Yeah.
Until it isn't.
Until it isn't,
until it breaks out.
I mean, COVID came from China, like people are going back and forth to Africa all the time. It's
Yeah.
not like there's not millions of people traveling there a year. And the other thing that concerns me is it's a lack of attention, lack of funding, lack of staff, and we don't have, like, in our country now, we have no team working on, coming up with health measures for us when it comes to diseases
Yeah.
like this anymore.
We are
used
not
to-
preparing for the next pandemic the way we should
No,
be.
no.
Absolutely not.
And if it did come, like, you're screwed, because this isn't like COVID where we could still go shopping if you were wearing a mask. It turns out we didn't have to wipe down our groceries. Right? This is a wipe down your groceries type
Yeah.
of thing. The person stocking the shelf, if it has it, you
Yeah.
could get it.
Probably time to grow your own food.
Yeah,
Grow,
just
eat
have a
weeds
month
for
have a month supply of food, so
Pasta.
you don't have to leave your
just
house.
pasta.
Pasta and beans.
And
Pasta
rice.
and
and
beans
peanut
rice.
butter. Peanut butter is
Ooh,
great.
Peanut butter is a lot of calories in
Yeah.
that.
Bob loves it.
Bob loves it.
Peanut
That's
So
how
Bob-
we get him to talk.
How
We
many
put
days
peanut
of
butter in his
food do
mouth.
you have in your house right now?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh man, You
I
know,
have since gone crazy with it.
multiple days. multiple.
I have
Twos
about
of
2
days.
weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, we bought extra. We got some rice and beans, but yeah, not a lot. I mean, we're I definitely now with the shit that's happening, I want to have multiple.
I usually
weeks.
have about 25 pounds of pasta in my house, which is not as much as you think it is.
Yeah, you can go
if
through
you
it.
get some
Especially
of
the
those
way you eat pasta.
containers, I don't eat that
Yeah,
much
but
anymore.
Steve, you don't have a way to cook it.
Yeah.
You need a way to cook it.
That's why you just need water and heat.
Yeah, but if the power goes out,
We have gas.
I have gas all the time.
Plus, I
Oh,
got
okay.
a
All
fireplace,
right. Good. Too many
and
mysteries.
wood. But yeah, so
That's
You
true. I
got
got
a-
some
you got a forest.
MREs that will
Oh my
some,
God.
that will
Should we do
probably
a s-
taste crappy, but we could probably survive a week
Should
on
we do
what
a
we
skeptic's guide
yeah,
to
if we had
MREs?
to, like all the,
Right?
That would
We'd
be
have to
fun.
buy
we
a
wouldn't
lot of
be
them,
eating
test
well,
them
but
out.
if we had to, we could survive for 2 to 3 weeks. I usually bump it up to like 4 weeks in the winter because there's actually times when we could be homebound for days because of a snowstorm.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean, I have like a giant, it's about that big around, full of rice.
Yeah, 20-pound bag of rice.
I don't know how long that lasts, dried like that, but
It's good dried food though.
There's some stray cats
You know,
in
you
my
want-
neighborhood.
Jesus.
But it's not just the food, right? Because if it's in the winter, you have to know how to make your house livable with no
Yeah.
heat in a very cold winter. And there's I'm not going to
Everybody
get into
sleeps in
extreme
one room.
details, but like you have to have, first off, you have to make sure that your house doesn't have any drafts. You have
Yeah.
to like stop any cold air from getting in. But then that you're supposed to build a room inside of a room.
Yeah.
And that's your heat
Multiple
room.
layers of-
Yeah, like so you want an air gap between the
Mhm.
outside and like so you can make it out of cardboard. They were even saying you can literally make it like a kid's,
Can you put a tent up?
yeah, anything that's like a barrier between you
Ooh.
and the air that's in the room.
The Skeptic's Guide to the
Convection.
Apocalypse.
That's
I like,
a good one.
I
We
like
could-
this.
I think we actually talked about that before. We could talk about it.
I
We could
really
do that.
think that's a fun idea,
That'd
man.
be fun.
That'd be a cool book to write.
Video/book series.
Well, DragCon, we're going to talk about
Some stuff.
flavors of
Yeah.
robot apocalypse.
That's-
All
the
right,
robot
let's
apocalypse.
figure out the Skeptic's Guide to the next pandemic.
If you don't
first.
have power in your house, how do you get water?
Melt snow.
Store
What if it's in the
potable
middle
water.
of the summer? You gotta think about these
I have
things.
a river in the backyard.
You have to boil
You
it.
gotta boil it. Well, if it's
Or-
running,
or
it's
roll the dice on,
roll,
on Giardia.
Yeah, it's a little dysentery.
I saw a YouTube video. Somebody opened up a can
Of what bass?
of water,
What?
emergency water from the 80s.
Ooh.
And he opened it,
How much lead was in that?
and actually that lead was the big. He poured it out. It looked nasty, and he did test it with a strip, and the lead. Yeah, there was a bunch of lead in there.
So it was in a lead can?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
guess so.
basically. I mean, lead was in there. I don't think it was all
Tin
lead.
cans
But
have some lead in
Aluminum.
them.
Aluminum
yeah, there was
is
some
much better.
If you looked in the can, there was some corrosion in there. That was part of the main problem. But yeah, I was like, you did not want to drink that stuff. But it was from the 80s. I mean, come on.
Still, I mean, if it was canned
Emergency.
properly, there's a guy that, some YouTuber or TikToker who opens up old MREs. He buys MREs,
Yeah, I've seen that guy.
right? And it's crazy. Like he'd be like, here is a brownie, here is a brownie MRE that it was a World War II
Yeah.
food item, and he opens it up and he eats it, and it's like, sometimes it's like scary as shit when you see what happened in that stuff, But sometimes he eats it, and he's like, yeah, it's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like Fallout 4. You're eating food that's 200 years old.
Yeah.
200. I was reading The Girl with All the Gifts, which is a fantastic book.
Yeah.
And the narration for the book is also great. Highly recommended. But so this is, I think a couple of decades into the apocalypse, and they found a stash of all this canned food, and and they're like, once in a while, after 10 or 15 years, they're like, it's sometimes they're surprisingly edible, but other times it's like, whoa, you don't
Yeah.
want to eat that one. But imagine you find canned food and you're like, oh my God, this is gold. It's just like the most amazing thing.
That reminds me of, I don't remember if it was a Twilight Zone, right? There was a few TV shows back then, right, Bob? Outer Limits, right? There was a group of people that were scrounging for foods and all that stuff. It seemed like it was post-apocalyptic. And one of them had access to the Oracle. And what that person would do is they'd take all the food in that they find, and he'd bring it into this cave, and then he'd come out and say, the Oracle said you could eat it or not. And at one point they kind of revolt, and they're like, screw it, we're going to eat it, because there was all this food that they couldn't eat, and everyone was starving or whatever, so they eat it, and of course they die, right? And it turns out the Oracle was a freaking computer.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they were supposed to make it look futuristic, so it basically looked like a Star Trek panel with a bunch of lights on it and stuff. But the computer was analyzing the food, telling them whether it was poisonous or not.
Cool. What was
Yeah.
it? What was the computer's name? Was it Landru? Star
Landru?
Trek.
Yeah,
Landru. Landru. Somebody said that honey never spoils, and that's correct. But you got to be careful
If it gets water.
if you
in there, I think, right?
introduce a problem. If you
Yeah.
introduce back anything to the honey by like reusing a spoon over and over, then it could spoil. And I think peanut butter lasts a surprisingly long time.
Sure.
But the same thing, you got to be careful how you take it out because you could introduce.
Yeah.
Well,
nasty
honey,
stuff.
just get it. As much as I don't like plastic bottles for a survival thing, the squeeze bottle is great because you're not putting anything in the
Right.
container.
What happens when honey gets nasty, like
Crystallizes?
Crystallized.
You
crystallized?
put it
What
in a
is
microwave,
Heat
that'll
it
go
up,
away.
yeah, you
But
just
what
heat
is
it
that?
up.
What's happening?
Is it the sugars crystallizing?
Yeah,
in
sugar's
there?
crystallizing.
So it's not.
just
That's
like
not a form of
No,
spoilage.
no.
That's
think so.
boiling now.
Is it inevitable? Wait, what?
I think. I mean, it's happened to every honey I've had. Eventually,
Yeah.
Yeah, over time. I think heat and cold affects it if it sits out. You
Still has calories though. Don't throw it away if it crystallizes. Still food.
could probably put it in tea and it'd be fine. It's not gonna look at- Anyway, all right. So that was one of the potential.
Twilight Zone, the
pandemics.
old man in the cave. Thank you.
Let's look at this.
Internet
next
cool,
one.
man.
So there's
Powerful.
another one that came from a cruise ship. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
The Hunter virus is not very contagious.
Ah.
That's the thing about it. It's also direct fluid, and just not very contagious. So it's
And there's two forms of it. There's the in the Americas, it's a pulmonary virus.
Yeah.
In the old world, it's hemorrhagic, which is like the nasty Ebolas are hemorrhagic, meaning that you're going to be bleeding either internally or externally or both. But the hemorrhagic version is mortality is a few percent, I
Yeah.
think, at most. So the more deadly one is the one in the Americas that is the pulmonary base. That's the one is up to 40%, 50% mortality maybe. So that
I
could be
don't remember the
nasty.
number off the top of my head, but that's not the one that was spreading on the ship though.
Yeah, America one, the pulmonary one.
But
All right,
even that
Ian.
is not very contagious.
Yeah.
Set us up.
I don't know. I don't know how contagious it is.
It's-
Wait, set us up?
Yeah, see another video.
Oh, you want a video? Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I was just doing the hantavirus, but let's move on to this guy.
Oh, that guy.
All right, so
This
the hantavirus,
fucking
no
guy.
pandemics as of yet. So knock on something.
Looks like he's living in post-apocalyptic
But
something.
let's see if we can eat something to stay
Tree bark?
off. Hold on, let me see. That.
Organisms that eat electricity.
There you go. Maybe we can
God,
survive the
he's
pandemic.
the Wizard of Oddity. That's his
The
name.
Wizard of Oddity. Here we go.
I just learned about the organisms that eat electricity.
Turn up.
Quiet.
Now you have to know about them too.
Turn it up.
That's
There is a creature or a type of creature, listen to me here, called electrolithoautotrophs. That rather than eating another animal or eating a plant or photosynthesizing energy from the sun, listen to me here, or even taking the heat from geothermal vents. No, the electrolithoautotroph just eats electrons directly. Just cut out the middleman. Why not? Why didn't I think of that? Electrolithoautotroph? Yeah. I guess, yeah. Why?
Now this
Egg
guy
on our face,
definitely
everyone
did not
else.
do LSD 20 years ago.
Just go direct.
So anyway, this guy is correct. What he is saying there.
the way that he says it is.
So, electrons, right? Litho,
Yep.
because they
Earth,
were the
ground.
rock. So certain rocks have an electrical potential across them, and they could use that in order to leach electrons from them. And autotrophs. The autotrophs are things like plants that undergo
Make their own-
photosynthesis.
yeah.
So there's, photosynthesizing organisms, chemosynthetic organisms, and electrolithoautotrophs, right? So those are three
Oh, cool.
kinds of
Yeah.
autotrophs.
All right.
So these are extremophiles
Yeah.
that are basically in the same niche that you will find like chemosynthetic organisms, but
Right.
but next to certain rocks they can directly,
So unicellular.
usually, and they can essentially fix carbon dioxide directly with the electrons that they take.
Cool.
from the
That's really
rocks.
cool.
Yeah.
They're like deep sea creatures, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hydrothermal.
Can you
vents.
integrate them with like plants?
In
What-
what way? I don't know what you mean.
I don't know. I mean, you wouldn't to fix its own nitrogen, right? Wouldn't that be a
No,
major?
carbon dioxide. Carbon. Fix its own carbon.
Oh, carbon. All right.
So
But you wonder though if it could be an organelle like a mitochondria. It gets but then
Yeah.
where's the electrical gradient that it's using?
I find it very
Your
humorous
outlet.
that this guy's just slowly wandering around the woods, just spouting off all this information
it's
in,
just
in
his
the
shtick.
most bizarre way. Like,
yeah.
But at least what it was accurate information.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
don't
usually does
mind.
come up with some wacky stuff normally.
Okay, I don't
but-
mind nutty guys or people that are accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's accurate. It's just like, what does he connect this to then next? It's
Yeah, you
like,
don't know what, and
Yeah, right.
therefore,
I was waiting for
And
the other
therefore-
shoe to
yes.
drop. At least on
He doesn't do it.
Therefore-
that video.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't watch any of his other
No,
videos.
no. I mean, he's well. We've watched some of his stuff before. 'Cause
Oh, did we?
He's wacky. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he has some other strange thing. Whatever.
Not shocked.
Yeah, the wild, crazy bearded guy is actually just
Wasn't actually
wasn't
good.
fully crazy. I mean, little crazy,
Okay.
little good crazy. All right, let's watch this one.
Oh, yeah.
Why were all these places
Oh, my God.
abandoned?
Think about the extremely significant places from history that were just covered up by dirt, and they just decided, no, it's not really worth keeping up with. The Roman Forum, the capital of Rome, what people would argue is the capital of the world, not worth keeping up with. We'll just let it get buried by time and dirt. This area was so buried by dirt that later on they built Christian churches there that were floating off the ground. The doors were floating off the ground, and
Yes.
since they have excavated it, there's now doors floating like 15 feet off the ground
I
because
was
there was
there.
that much
Yeah.
dirt covering these structures
that
from
too. That's a
then.
cool area.
Or like the Sphinx. No, the Sphinx is lame. What is it? One of the oldest things maybe ever. No, we just let that get covered up by dirt. We don't even really know. We don't know what's underneath it. We don't know
Sand,
what the feet
actually.
look like, and they had to re-excavate it again in. And then things like Chichen Itza. It was like the largest Mayan city of all time, maybe one of the largest cities in the Western Hemisphere that we know of. I mean, we're talking like 35 to 50,000 people were in this city. They just let that get covered up by the jungle and taken over, and no, it wasn't really worth keeping up with. It was just one of the largest pyramids in the entire world.
on,
How did this happen? How did people go
What's
from
happening?
having the most
going
significant
on?
places in the
Yeah.
world to them just being covered up and forgotten about?
This
Why
That's
would
so
societal collapse
crazy.
cause these problems?
This guy clearly has
on.
never heard about Blockbuster. It's called, there's lots of reasons why societies would fail or they would abandon things like that because, something catastrophic happens.
Yeah, Rome fell, if I'm remembering my ancient history
Yeah.
correctly. At some point, the barbarians invaded, and
But
anyway.
it fell over years and
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
it was a
it's-
long-term
and
process.
he also brings up Pompeii. It's like,
I know.
dude, I mean,
No, that's a catastrophic.
Wow.
bro.
You know,
It's like,
why
what
is Pompeii buried? What happened there?
What happened?
What
No
was
one
hey,
knows.
what happened?
At the end, he's like, "Am I overthinking this?" Like, yes, you are totally. Not only are you completely overthinking this, you are under investigating this. Like, how incurious do you have to be?
Yes.
I keep saying,
Instead
I
of
don't
Steve,
understand.
this is what I say. Instead of going to make a video, go to ChatGPT or Google and ask some smart questions, and you will
Ask
get
a
the
co-
answers.
I know you have access to the world's knowledge on these things. It's not.
That's not the point.
Yeah,
It's not the
are you
point.
living in the 80s where you'd have to leave your house to learn shit? I mean, come on.
Even then, I would be saying, go to the freaking library.
right.
It's like
Now
the
you just
Palladium
go to
Britannica.
your computer and spend 5 minutes of.
But to him though, like the conspiracy that he's drumming up is, was there a force of some kind that got rid of these people, or
Yeah, what was
right?
he
Like,
there
what was he
for?
there
What was
for?
his
Yeah.
there
I was sort of waiting for it. He doesn't really say.
Yeah.
No, it's
say
not-
it.
because that's not the point. It's
they
the-
vague post.
It's not the point.
intentionally.
It's
Yeah.
you will get clicks just by asking dumb questions.
Yeah, right.
That's all you got to do.
I know.
Okay, so
yeah, I mean, that's
let-
the goal, right? Just the clicks.
Like thinking about the Aztec Empire that they had. I was actually there. I went to Mexico
Yeah.
many moons ago, and I went there. It was freaking amazing. Or whatever,
cool.
Yeah, they freaking died out.
Yeah, I know.
You know
That
what I mean?
civilization
That's it.
died out.
Sorry,
And
I mean,
they-
it sucks, but
Things get abandoned, and then they very quickly actually succumb to entropy and nature.
In America, we
And-
don't have anything that's abandoned. Famously, there's no abandoned buildings. Definitely not in Bridgeport. Don't go there.
Steve, you pissed Sharon off because she's like, you could still go to the library, Steve.
You can.
It's still good.
Yeah, well, she is.
We know, Sharon.
That's her profession. You
Everyone,
can't-
go to the
Isn't that what
library,
you said,
please.
Steve?
No, I said in the 80s, I would say go to the library. Now you can go to
Yeah.
your computer. You can still go
There's
to
a
the
computer
library.
at the library too.
But the thing is,
I see.
yeah, but of course, obviously my point is you're fucking at your computer. You don't have to go anywhere.
You might actually meet smart people at the library.
That's true.
Or
Or that
could use
bearded
a new
guy might
friend.
be at the library.
All right, when's the last time either of you were at a physical library?
Like a month ago.
Really?
Mhm.
Or which library?
I have children.
Yeah, children.
that's different.
Yeah, that's what we do.
I
over
went.
there.
You asked. I answered the
A
question.
year ago. Surprised?
Yeah.
But why did they
Why?
bury it all?
You had to
I
get
know,
a
right?
passport.
They bury
Did you have to get a
We,
passport?
we went there to get a library card so that Liz can listen to audiobooks from the library.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, technically, I was at a library, 6 months ago to vote, but that's
Ah,
I
no.
wasn't there researching stuff. I used to go to the library, during medical school. I
All
was
the time.
there every week, but now your computer is your library.
It's funny though. Like the library is actually very helpful to a lot
Yeah.
of people out there. Like
Yeah,
go,
that's awesome.
you can go use a computer there if you don't own one,
Mhm.
right? Which is huge. I remember in high school, before I owned a computer, I was going to the library and renting time on their computer to
Yeah.
play video games. Had nothing to do with education.
But wait, what's this about Dungeon Crawler Carl books? What's the context?
Just saying he's checking them out.
Yeah, man, that's a great, highly recommended series, and the
At the library, right?
audio books are fantastic. The narrator, I forget his name.
I still haven't read the latest book.
He's a what?
I haven't read any of them.
They're so much fun. So much fun.
You can rent DVDs from the library if you want to.
audiobooks, man. That's great because
Yeah.
they're not cheap.
It says his name is Jeff Hayes.
Jeff Hayes, yep. Jeff Hayes is a incredible narrator, man. Top 5, so good.
And if you have to literally go back to microfiche, like the plastic
Yeah.
imprints of newspapers and magazines and all that stuff. Like I don't know how available that is online, but
Yeah.
typically libraries had machinery that you can view that
There's
stuff.
a lot of that online now.
Yeah. It's probably actually a lot of it's gone, I'm sure.
Speaking of narrators, I don't know if you saw this. Tom Kane, who's a famous Powerpuff Girls, like all this. He died recently.
Wait, Powerpuff Girls? What is?
Yeah, I know. He was the voice actor of all these,
He-
pretty iconic, cartoon stuff. I think it was like Ultron and some other Star Wars stuff.
He did the Powerpuff Girls voices.
I think he did the doctor, right?
Oh,
Like the
okay, yeah,
father,
yeah,
or
the
the
yeah.
doctor father, whatever.
Professor X.
Professor, yeah.
That was a fun show. I loved watching
He
that with
just
my
recently
daughter.
died, like 2 days ago. But anyway, he was like super popular. Shout out to his memory. All right, anything else about this dingus? Probably not.
No,
No.
we're good.
Yeah.
Yes,
moving on.
we're the
Ray
dingus.
Porter as a narrator. Basically my favorite narrator is Ray Porter. He does so many books. I've listened to
Basically, my favorite animal.
countless books. He's fantastic. He kind of spoils you for other narrators, although there are others that are fantastic. But he's
did he
top notch.
voice
Top
Wolverine?
notch.
Did Tom Kane do
Mongo
Wolverine?
is
That might have
appalled.
been awesome. Mongo is pawn in Game of Life.
I hear Bob and Steve talk about it all the time.
we met Hayes and Dinneman, the author. Very down to earth,
He was
fun
Magneto
guys.
in Wolverine. Anyway, it was Magneto in Wolverine. There you go. All right, let's listen to this guy. So bananas,
Uh-oh.
Steve's favorite. They're bad for you,
This
Steve.
guy's very angry.
He's angry. Here we go. Let's see why he's angry about
cute.
bananas.
Just found out you can't put bananas in your smoothie
So is that video
because apparently there's an
flipped, or
enzyme
is
in the.
he in England right now?
Unless
Gotta
it's
be
flipped.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
probably
usually it shows you yourself in the same direction or mirrored.
Banana that breaks down all the nutritional value of the berries. So it's as if you're not even having the berries. You're getting none of it if there's a banana in there. What are we talking about?
Hey, dude, chill out.
Is that his shtick?
Why is that a thing? I can't have bananas with my berries. Oh. I'm done. Just found out you can't.
All right, I'm gonna blow this guy's mind.
Wow.
There we go.
Did you know
Bananas.
that bananas are berries?
Cool, yeah.
That's
Mic drop.
BANANAS.
Boom! Bananas
So
are
a
berries, my
banana,
friend.
a banana nullifies its own nutrition.
No, it doesn't.
Banana is a
So
banana.
first of all, the other thing is that it nullifies all the nutritional value is not true.
Of course, it's not true.
But bananas do have an enzyme in them that does metabolize the polyphenols, which are antioxidants. Right? That's it.
Ah,
Yeah.
antioxidants.
It's
It's antioxidants?
it reduces the amount of a certain kind of antioxidant in there.
Big deal.
That's it. All the vitamins and all the actual real nutrition is fine. So go ahead and have bananas with your smoothie.
And really though, how often do you have bananas and other
all
berries
the time.
together?
It's like
together?
banana
Oh,
strawberry.
in a smoothie?
Yeah,
whatever you
bananas
want.
are very.
strawberry,
All right.
banana, blueberry,
Smoothie I
all
can
the
see, but
time.
just eating, berries and fruit. Very rarely are bananas
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that mix.
That's true because because you have to cut them and they don't keep for very long.
Yeah, they're going to get slimy.
Very weird delivery on that guy too.
Yeah.
He just.
What are you talking about?
It's like,
Maybe
there's
that's
a
his
kernel
shtick,
of truth
like the
there,
Bobby-
but he doesn't
Bob
understand
Nance.
enough
I mean, it's whatever.
to put it into any kind of context.
Yeah, that's true about pineapples. You eat too much pineapple and your like mouth starts to bleed.
What?
Because it's eating you. The
It
enzymes
has
are.
enzymes that can actually.
Yeah, so you got to titrate that.
Oh my God. He did get 1.4 million likes on this
What?
video. So
That's because meaningless content wins. That's
Hard
the world we
disagree,
live in.
Bob.
Big Smoothie has been lying to us about bananas and smoothies. That's sad, but funny. I'm
Yeah.
going. This one is fun. I'm going back to cigarettes and Diet Coke then, which is like, yeah, okay.
All right, how about this?
All right, okay.
You know,
Bananas and berries. All right, that's cool. I've never really combined them, but like bananas and Rice Krispies.
Magic.
OMFG.
Yeah.
Wait, so you've never frozen bananas
what
and then blended
synergy?
them?
always. That's how we make
Freeze
our
banana.
smoothies.
Yeah, you make like a faux ice cream out of like blended bananas. It's
You
pretty
can also
good.
do that with mangoes.
Oh, that sounds good.
There's some protein, like chocolate protein shakes that if you put them in the freezer and take them out at the right time, it's kind of like a frozen custard ice cream type dessert that makes it extra tasty.
Like
if
a
you're-
Rita's?
If you're into,
A Rita's
Into that
smoothie.
sort of thing.
well, not as good as that. Not as smooth. It's a little
no.
crystalline,
GMO pink
but it was
pineapple. I want those. That
The
sounds
pink. Oh yeah, the pink pineapples are great.
The best pineapple in the world is a sugar loaf.
All right.
good. Oh boy, yep.
Says
in your subjective opinion.
Jay.
Well, it's any statement like that is a subjective opinion.
Any statement.
So why would you have to say that? Just trying to knock me
You
down
said
a
it as a
peg.
fact. You said
It's
it
a
as
fact to me. It's my fact.
It's my subjectively objective fact. All right. So this guy, we figured out whatever. Now let's see what she. has
Ian,
to
do you have
say.
a favorite fruit?
No. I don't like apples, honestly. I don't like. I don't. tell
Don't
about
like
it.
apples.
I
What?
know.
That's un-American.
That is,
know,
yeah,
I'm
like
an
you,
anti-American.
Tommy.
If I had an
Pinko.
apple pie right now, I'd throw it right in your face.
In support of Ian, apples. I mean, I don't mind. Apples are good, are
Like
tasty.
cooked apples is great.
They have a
but-
lot of
Oh, yeah.
fiber in them.
But there's not a lot of nutrition in an apple. If you look at like the
skin has a lot
nutrition,
of nutrition.
Skin and fiber, Bob.
I remember reading that there's not a. If you're gonna eat,
It's fine,
If you're
though.
gonna eat fruit for nutrition, apple probably shouldn't be your first choice.
But anyway, it's hard to talk about apples as if it's one fruit because there
Yeah.
are so
That's
many
true, that's true.
varieties.
Yes.
There's
that
certain
are
type of
so
apples I don't
different.
like more.
Yeah, I mean, there are some types of apples I do not like.
Yeah, Red
Yeah, of
Delicious
course.
are terrible.
Red
Yeah, I hate
Delicious
Red
are
Delicious.
nasty.
What do you
man.
even use them for? What are
Garbage.
They, garbage. Just throw. They're
I
part
mean,
of
maybe
the-
you
Animal
can
feed a
cook with
horse.
them. You can cook with them.
Can you cook with it? Are
Yeah.
they good like apple pie?
But I
apples,
mean,
maybe?
it's a basic apple,
Yeah,
right?
no,
I mean, when we
totally.
were kids, there was Red Delicious, Granny Smith,
Granny
and
Smith.
Macintosh.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
was
That
it.
That's
was pretty
it.
much it. Maybe Golden Delicious.
Okay.
That was pretty much it. And now I know there were more. I'm just saying, like, we go to the grocery store.
cider? Oh,
Those
maybe
are
that
the
makes
ones we
sense.
knew.
yeah,
yeah,
from the
in
grocery
in
store.
New England.
Now
right.
it's like anything less than Honeycrisp is
Honey
crap.
Crisp are great.
Didn't I find a Cosmic Crisp?
Cosmic Crisp is
and that
good.
was fine. I found that recently. That was good.
There
How
are
do you
so
like
you
them
go
apples?
if
How
you
do you
go
like
to
them
like a
apples?
Gala apples are good.
if you go to a
Oh,
local
yeah.
apple orchard and you
Ian, you don't like Honeycrisp
Fresh.
apples?
I mean, I just don't.
Have you
Something
had 'em?
about them when I bite them, it makes my teeth hurt. Which I don't know if
teeth
maybe that's just like the enamel is off of my teeth, but I just don't really like apples.
you're biting too hard, man.
You're talking
maybe
about going
that's
to the apple picking orchards?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
try
should do that.
try all the varieties that they have. You'll be shocked at how many different
And
ones.
So talk
when
about
you-
fresh.
I know when you pick an apple off the tree, man. Like when you get a Honeycrisp, or they have the Golden Crisp there.
I don't even pull them off.
The
I just,
Golden
I just
Crisp are
eat
my
them
favorite.
On the tree.
Yeah,
but compared to
Oh
like
man,
a mango,
those are so
so
good.
good.
yeah, but compared to a mango, come on.
Here's my
Like,
experience.
An apple is nothing.
Oh, I
compared
know.
to-
Oh,
mango-
Ian, no, I mean,
I'd rather have I'm not a big mango fan.
No.
I love mangoes. I love
Mangoes are
mangoes,
so
but
good.
like a Golden Crisp off the tree is magic.
sure.
It's
Off
just amazing. But also, it's funny. There's
Here's another one.
there's
I don't
a
like
few
oranges
things.
either.
There's a few things that if I watch somebody eat it,
yeah.
You want?
I really want
Yes.
to eat
so
it.
funny.
Apples are one.
Yeah.
Right? You watch somebody eating a crunching into an apple.
Yeah.
Like, I want
It
an
does
apple.
sound good.
What's another one?
What's a banana? I mean, not a banana, maybe.
No,
That's
watch.
not-
I don't like
talking
watching
just
people
fruit
eat
or
bananas. Anything.
I mean, sometimes
I mean, it depends on like.
Okay, all
Are
right.
they-
all right.
what
Wait,
context are they
now
eating a
let's-
banana?
let's
Maybe
not-
an
let's
orange,
not
maybe?
Talk about it. No. Hold on. Let's think.
What
So
about-
the other one is like I always like. Oh, I really want that now. Is watching people eat spaghetti and sauce.
oh sure.
That's not a
Right?
fr-
It
always
fruit.
looks good.
It always looks like oh
We're,
man,
Ita-
looks
we're
so good.
Italian, of course.
Yeah.
that
I know. I'm
happens.
just saying.
It's
Apples
epigen-
and spaghetti.
But
Like,
there
if I
are-
see somebody
epigenetic.
eat them, I have to eat them.
Like there are
Wait.
videos of people that cook like
Huh?
you know,
Mangoes
they'll be
make my elbows sticky.
What the hell does that even mean? What are you doing with your mangoes?
That's
Wow.
a, look. That's
Actually,
a
never mind.
personal
There's a
thing.
story
answer
there.
That's a personal thing,
Don't
and you
answer
need to
that.
talk to your medical professional about that.
Wow.
But like Thai food, where they have the sticky coconut rice and mango on the side, like as a
You know,
dessert, that's
maybe,
so good.
Maybe he's a double amputee and he just
He's
picks it up,
just squishing
picks
it
it
in.
up and eats it with his elbows. You
I
know.
mean,
Never
Maybe.
know.
Maybe,
You never know.
Maybe that is what's happening. I don't know.
Like there are people that make content and all they do is cook meats, right? So
Okay.
they're my God, like this guy cooked this what do you call that? What do you call it?
Cheese grater,
No.
Hamburger.
No, it's a
Sloppy
big,
Joe.
it's a big
meatloaf.
flank of
chuck.
meat that is
A shank.
Shank.
yeah, I can't remember the exact
Round.
kind of
Porterhouse.
No.
A quarter house.
Well, yeah, I did see a guy.
T-bone.
But I saw a guy
T-bone.
cook a steak that was
Fillet.
like this big.
Yeah.
It was
A
butt steak
huge.
style. It drips down your arms.
So anyway, you see them cook it, and they're professional grillers,
roast.
and they have like 5 different thermometers in
Yeah.
it or whatever, and like they cook it for like 4 hours. And when they put, every time I watch the video, I go right to the end because I don't care about all the rubbing and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
I just want to
The
see what it
rubbing.
looks like when it comes off the grill or
We're
whatever.
talking about cooking
And when
stuff?
I see that, I'm like, damn, it looks so freaking
Yeah.
good. This guy took, I told Steve about this. This guy took a pork belly. It was like a blanket. Thing was like 3 foot by 3 foot, and they cut it into like, you know, like 2 inch by 2 inch or 3 inch cubes, but they don't cut all the way through. So it's like, you know, so when you look at it, you know, it has that look of
Yeah.
all the little sections on it, and then they cook that thing, and when it goes in, you're like, I wouldn't eat that. You know, you would never touch that thing with a 10-foot pole because it's all fat, right? When they pull it out, you want to sleep on that thing. It is freaking amazing looking when they pull that out.
It's like bacon.
It is. It's basically like 4-inch deep
Chicharrones,
bacon. I know. Oh
Yeah.
my God. And how are these people surviving? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
look at them, you're like, dude, what are you doing? You're gonna kill yourself.
Oh, you know what the best fruit is? Tomatoes. That's what the best
Oh
fruit is.
God.
Oh,
I
God.
know that's not really.
I don't have a
fruit,
life without tomatoes.
but that's
Wait.
like the best. And avocados.
Are you talking about cooked or raw?
Any?
my wife and
I love cooked tomatoes, basically in any form.
I like
you
cooked
right.
tomatoes are the best.
I don't like
but-
raw tomatoes.
So
Really?
I,
Okay.
you know, my
In a
tomato,
salad, it's, you
my
know.
main
Wait, aren't they berries?
tomato sauce recipe.
Tomatoes,
Yeah.
technically.
Are they berries?
Technically,
Botanically?
culinary berries. Is that how
No,
they
no,
say
no.
it?
No, they're botanically. They would be
They're
fruit.
culinary vegetables. They're botanical berries.
Yeah.
Like bananas
Gotcha.
are botanical berries.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, it's like anything that's a nut.
Got-
Like most things that are nuts are not. They're not botanical nuts. They may be
They're
culinary
culinary,
nuts,
yeah.
but they could be legumes or seeds or whatever.
Yeah, gotcha.
So when I make a tomato sauce, like
Yeah.
I'm making my traditional, like you know,
Right.
for pasta or whatever, you know, it's like a 4-hour plus. If I'm cooking in Connecticut, it's a 4-hour plus endeavor to make.
Yeah, you got to adjust for your altitude, of course.
I do, yeah. Whenever
Yeah.
I go to Denver,
your
I'm like,
attitude.
it's 2 days to cook that instead of 1 day. It's true.
Yeah.
it is.
I know.
So,
Sorry, Ale.
It's just you're just being very Italian right now.
and on top of that, like when I cook my tomato sauce, I don't eat it the
Get 'em.
day I make it. Of
course not.
I put it in the refrigerator
Hey, who eats it the
overnight
day
or
they
freeze
make
it. It tastes better.
I agree.
All right, okay. So he's laughing at me,
You're
but he eats
preaching
it
to
like
the
crazy.
choir.
You know, he comes to my house and he's sweating to the oldies in there, fucking eating everything I'm making. And that's why, you know, I pay attention to these details. So what my wife and I have been doing, my wife started this, and I've gone hog wild on it. Is you just get those little cherub tomatoes, those sweet
Oh,
little
yeah.
pop in your mouth tomatoes.
yeah.
You get like 2 of the big containers, and you literally like you put a little oil. You put some fresh garlic or some, you know, garlic paste in there, whatever you float your boat,
Oh, you cook
and
it
you just
down?
put them in that, and you put it on medium high, and let it go, and they will end up exploding. And then you could puree them if you want. I
Yeah.
do that sometimes. I'll put my immersion blender in there, whatever. I'm telling you, it makes a amazing tomato sauce
Yeah.
in
You're making like
25
a
minutes.
Now, in the
Pomodoro or
summer,
something, right?
I always grow tomatoes in the garden
Basil.
and basil.
Yeah, basil you use all summer.
Yeah, and then our favorite meal over the summer is you just take a little bit of garlic or whatever, and then you cut up some tomatoes. You don't crush them or anything. You just cut them up.
Yeah. Because you want to eat them like that.
And you throw them in there.
Yeah.
You saute them a little bit. Then you put in some fresh. You obviously take the basil right off the plant and cut that up, and that's it. Just tomatoes
it.
and basil.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Bob, it's
Put a little
incredible.
Put a little
It is
balsamic
incredible.
on there too.
Jay,
Sometimes.
do you like tomatoes in any
Oh
form?
God,
any form?
I love
If they're
tomatoes.
cooked, they have to be cooked, even minimally cooked. Or
I
fine.
eat raw tomatoes.
so,
Not
so
raw.
how about sliced on a sandwich?
Wait, but
No.
no, you don't use
Oh.
you don't use that. I can't remember the kind of tomato it is.
beef
Beefsteak?
tomatoes.
You don't eat the beefsteak. Don't just throw them away. They are useless,
What?
horrible things.
'Cause they're
Beefsteak,
they're just watery.
beefsteak tomatoes offer you nothing. They don't taste like anything, and if they do, it's kind of not nice. And if you put them on a sandwich, they slide right out of the. They suck. Everything about them sucks. There are so many other tomatoes out there, like Roma tomatoes, Bob.
Roma.
Holy shit, there are so many. Like those
Yeah.
are great for sandwiches.
You want to get heirloom tomatoes.
heirloom
those
tomatoes.
two.
Yeah. Get the ones that come on the vine in the
I like
supermarket.
tomatoes
Those are
in
fantastic.
small pieces, like on bruschetta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's good.
Or
Yeah, it's all good.
or even cherry tomatoes that have been cut and they're in like a really powerful
Yeah.
oil and vinegar.
The only raw tomatoes I'll eat is when I make tabbouleh,
Yeah.
right? And you have to take the slimy stuff out.
Yep.
I hate the slimy stuff.
Wait, in the middle of
Yeah.
yeah, that's the stuff.
That's disgusting.
What was it? George Carlin would be like some unformed.
Alien creatures.
No, if you're
of
gonna
the-
eat
it's
them
like-
cold, you take that out.
and then you
No, I
you
just don't eat
slice
them
up
cold.
you dice it up really, really fine. It goes in the
that's
salad.
fine.
I could do
That's
that.
fine.
Yeah.
What about
I know.
salsa? You're not a salsa fan?
Oh,
I
I
love
salsa's
it.
fine.
Love it.
Love
Love
it.
Yeah, so
salsa.
it's,
okay.
it's the prep of the raw tomato. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
but
not
like just
cooked,
a
clearly.
straight up raw tomato with all
Oh my God.
the gooey
But-
stuff
but
in the middle.
Just like apples, though, you have to look at tomatoes. Like there's so many different varieties
yeah.
out there, and they're useful
Night
for
and
different
day.
things.
Steve, I want to try it this summer. I want the tomato
Yeah.
and the,
Bob,
I want to try that.
you'll
We'll have you and Liz over. We'll do it.
All right.
And bread, because those two
I'll
like
make some fresh
go
bread
so
too.
freaking
Yeah.
good
Too.
together. But
It's
Bob,
gotta be
you
one of the most like diverse fruits, right? Like it has so many different varieties in
Yeah.
a way. Tomatoes, like you can think of any other fruit that has more varieties,
Apples?
maybe
but it
apples, maybe.
I find it amazing that like I can make a
Bananas, man?
really, really
really.
good tomato sauce in like 25 minutes. You know, I just didn't
Oh,
think that was possible.
Somebody talked about the
Versatile
tomatoes
man,
in
I should say.
Sicily. In Italy, in general, they have better tomatoes than we have. And we,
because they don't eat the crap. So all you're gonna find is the stuff that actually is good.
They got the good ones from.
man, it's kind of so many
South
times in different parts of Italy,
This
you
is a
just have
cooking show, I
some
know.
kind of
It's-
marinara tomato-based red sauce. And
Will
like,
it tomato?
why is this so fucking good? Like better than by an order of magnitude than anything I've had in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing, amazing.
Yeah, I mean the answers have to be this. It's the cultivars,
Yeah.
it's the maybe the land quality,
Yeah.
and it's the the abundance of that stuff. Like everybody's going to use the good stuff because, like I said,
Yeah.
Italians are very
Yeah, but do you
particular
think
about
it's the
their food.
psychology of you traveling and like you're really hungry?
No.
and you're
No.
like, okay, fine.
No. It's
No, I mean
clearly
no.
superior to so
Yeah.
Really superior. Okay, fine.
What are you talking about? What the hell was that?
What?
You think it's a placebo effect of our
A little bit,
travel
like
brain?
because think of when you're traveling, you're dehydrated, you're hungry, you haven't really eaten anything good. Then you get put something in front of you, you're like, God damn, this is the best thing I've ever eaten.
Best
It's
chicken
not.
I ever had, I had in Mexico, and it was hands down. So I went to one of those brackish snorkeling caves,
Okay.
which was
Yeah.
spectacular. I mean, it's unbelievable how cool these look. There's so many of them. All
Brackish
peppered.
water? Why would you snorkel in brackish water?
Well, it's
I
better
think
than
it's
full salt
mandatory.
water.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, but
not.
visibility is shit
You
by
have
definition.
Bob, snorkel goggles, all that stuff. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no, no,
no,
Bob.
no.
I'm
Brackish
talking crystal
does-
clear.
Doesn't mean muddy.
It's
It
salty,
just
right,
means it's
isn't it?
half salt and half fresh.
It has salt,
Oh,
has
yeah,
salt
all
water
right.
in it.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be half.
Doesn't have to be
It could
half. It's part. It's
Gotcha,
mixed.
gotcha.
Some
All
there's
right,
some salt
45.
water.
And I would argue that the salt actually, I think, kills bacteria and stuff. Like it's probably cleaner than fresh water.
I don't know.
So we were, we got the hotel had a van that we get in. We buy the tickets. We go. We're driving in a car like half hour. I have no idea where I am. We go up this dirt road. You know what I mean? I remember, and as we drive in, there was 4 guys that were cooking a lot of chicken on an open fire. I'm like, wow, cool. Look at those guys. I had no idea that was going to be my lunch. You know what I mean? But they're making lunch already for everyone. As we
Yeah.
get up there, go in, we're snorkeling. Get out, and they had like a gazebo type of thing, and you walk through, and it was like a buffet, and they had this beautiful
Buffet.
fucking chicken in there. It looked amazing. All fresh fruits and vegetables. Like it was awesome. I ate the chicken, and I almost started crying. I'm like, this is going to be the last time
my
I have this
God.
chicken. They're not going to tell me.
Did you ask them?
No.
I would have paid them. Hey, give me here some money. Tell me.
I don't know what
there
they
was
did.
some spice in there.
Yeah, what was it?
I mean, I think the chickens were alive probably the day before or that morning. You know what I mean? I think it was the freshness of it that had a lot
I
to do
don't
it. But
know,
of course,
man.
it was the spices and it was
Yeah.
how they cooked it. And
It's
you,
the skill of the
Oh my
chef.
God,
probably,
man.
a lot,
yeah, right, Ian? Yeah, they knew
I
what they were
would think.
doing, man.
That reminds me.
know.
Have you guys ever read the subreddit called Hypothetical Situations?
No.
No.
Where somebody posts a subreddit saying, all right, here's a hypothetical situation. What would you do? Sometimes it's about
Thanks.
like here's an array of superpowers. Which one would you pick?
Oh,
And
okay.
They're a fun read, but one was, here's a genie is granting you 3 wishes. You have to pick just one. And I'll never forget. One of the wishes was, you can go into this interdimensional room, and when you're in that room, you could eat anything you have ever eaten in your life. would be instantly available.
And as much as you want.
As much as you want. All you just need to do is have a memory of something that you ate, and it would be perfectly replicated. Grandma's ravioli, which is one of the first things I'd ask for. But imagine, Dave. I mean, I know it's goofy.
The problem
but
is,
it's funny
is there a limit to how much you eat? And are you a human
No,
with a
yeah.
human limitation of how much you could eat in
Yeah.
one sitting?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can go into it whenever you want.
Yeah, I mean that was the way it was set up.
Okay, here's what I would do. All right. So first, this would be a life-changing thing that you have. You, of course, would have to go travel around the world and find the best freaking recipes
Yeah.
and everything, and eat the best food you can get your hands on, and then you never have to buy food again after that.
I know. But now I know.
Yeah, go to a 5-star Michelin restaurant, get the
yeah,
best meal
absolutely.
Can you
ever
bring
had.
people in with you?
In this scenario, I think you can. But what makes these interesting, sure, it's fun to think, oh, imagine if this. But what's interesting is that people will go through the array of options. And I like when they find a hack. Like, oh, wait, if you do this wish, then you might not realize it. But you could also then now, because of that, do all of these other things that you like, oh, yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
So that's part of the fun, is trying to define what's the hack, where's the one option that seems maybe potentially even lame, but you're like, no, man, this is overpowered, because if you do that, you could do all these other cool
Can
things.
I
So
ask you
it's
a
just
clarifying
just
question?
a fun subreddit to read when
You
you're
should
like,
mine that for stuff we could talk about on like our live shows.
yeah, man.
Bob, when you're in the
Yeah.
alternate
All right,
food
you got
dimension,
it.
when you're in whatever it is, you go into like a kitchen. What is this, one big buffet? Anyway, when you're in there, are you aging or
The
not?
infinite buffet.
In some of them, you're not.
Holy shit! You know, I would be in
And
there
do
an
you-
awful lot. I'd sleep in there.
Yep.
And do you get calories?
I know. There's
Does
so
the
many
food you eat
variations.
have
of
Wait,
these
why
things.
even leave there?
caloric
Why would you
deficit.
even leave there?
Because you're immortal there.
Yeah, just all the food you want.
I mean, I forget all the details.
If
of
I
that
could bring my
specific
people in with me,
Well, that's a
forget
big
it.
if.
I'm out.
That's
Yeah.
I'd do one big checkout party. Enough of this shit, fuckers. I'm out, and just go to the food realm and just fucking live there. Yeah.
What if you install a tube in your stomach to evacuate the food once you're done chewing it?
Have a vomitorium.
like-
Just keep eating it.
Just keep eating. I mean, the enjoyment, right, is your taste buds mostly, right? And your
But I
brain,
also enjoy that final, like you tank up,
you feel good,
and
yeah.
you're like, yeah,
Buddy,
there you go.
buddy.
I just
Buddy,
like that. I
buddy.
like that.
That is
Loosen
true.
your
That is
belt.
a nice
And that's when you have a little,
pass
liqueur
out.
or something after,
a
Ian.
cigar.
Yeah.
Bet on the stock market.
Yeah, but then there's that time
industry.
Jay and I on Thanksgiving ate so much. We ate so much that we
couldn't
couldn't
sit down.
sit. We had to recline
That's
so
awesome.
that the compression of our stomach was minimized.
I
Because
love
that's
that
how
it happened to
old-
both of us.
Yeah.
Though.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
I remember we were in the kitchen standing up, like, Bob, I can't even bend over. Like it hurt, like
we
right
ate-
here. It hurt
we
right
stretched
there
our
somewhere.
stomachs so much.
Oh god, it was
Can you
terrible.
imagine these professional eating competition people
Oh, yeah, they're
that eat
freaks.
so much that they have to practice stretching their stomach to get used to? Oh my god, I can't even imagine.
There's a guy. There's always a guy on
He's
freaking
always a
TikTok.
guy. He's
He's a
guy.
professional food eater, and he goes
guy.
around. I mean, he's literally traveling the world and going to wherever they have like a
a
a
competition?
purse. No, he'll go to a restaurant and like this one place he went to, and like they over the years they stored up like thousands of dollars in the kitty for whoever can eat the thing. You know what I mean? And if
yeah.
you do it, you either pay for it if you can't, and then if you do, you get to eat for free. So he goes in, and this guy is unreal. One of the things he got, it was a hamburger this big.
Oh my god.
I couldn't
nuts.
believe the guy ate, and of course it comes with French fries over here and some other crap over there, and like the guy just sits there and like you have 1 hour, and he eats it, and the guy looks like he's in good shape or whatever. But what is going on with his cardiovascular system if he's doing that? I mean, he'll eat like 2 pounds of bacon in one of these weird breakfast, food
Competitions,
stunts.
yeah.
Yeah, like what's happening?
he
He
could
must
protect-
not process it fully, right?
well,
he's got
Maybe he has 4 stomachs.
Or maybe he pukes it out
he
afterwards.
could potentially puke it up afterwards at some point. But man, that's just like.
But what I like about him though is he's enjoying it. He's like, oh, it's just like, and then he'll go over and get like some sauce. He puts sauce on it, and then he orders dessert afterwards. After he wins, it's like, you got any apple cobbler back there? Yeah, what? Okay. The guy said,
Steve,
he
I'll
doesn't
take
have-
the lot.
I'll have the lot.
fuck off, I'm full.
Don't skimp on the pate.
It's wafer thin.
Wow.
Oh man.
I mean, I guess he doesn't have food menu fatigue. What is it? Like, what are you?
Oh yeah.
Because that's like
How
pretty.
scary
severe,
is
right?
that? The best food you've ever eaten, if you had it every day, after a relatively short period of time, you're just like, I'm so sick of that shit.
Except pizza.
What?
I've never not wanted pizza. I've only not wanted it because I don't want the calories, but I've never.
Right, but how about 10 days in a row?
I'm
Jay,
willing to
right?
try.
Well,
You know?
we recently inherited cat food from Steve. Steve had.
Yes, it's the beard guy.
You're gonna eat
right?
cat food?
You know who I'm
Beard
talking
meets
about.
Food. Yes, we've talked about.
He's
it before.
awesome, and he's a
pretty cool.
really nice guy. You see him doing. He's talking to people, and he's laughing, and he and his cameraman are always talking to each other. He's cool. I really like that guy.
Funny to talk
All right.
about. Okay.
So as I was saying, I recently inherited from Steve and Jocelyn cat food because their cat had to be put down. So sorry about that, Steve. But
Did you feed their old cat to your cat?
That's
No,
not how
I-
it works.
they wouldn't-
I
they
don't
wouldn't-
think
sorry.
do.
they
Does
wouldn't
it
give her to me.
Get the power of the old.
So I'm now feeding Claudia this other cat food,
Yeah.
and she's like obsessed.
Like she loves it.
Oh yeah, really,
it's
really
new.
loves it. So it just makes me think, man, was she just like totally sick of the food that we've been feeding her for
Yeah.
years every day, or is it because it's new, or because it's genuinely extra tasty? I don't know what to think. And it's like, am I like torturing my cat? You know, how do pets deal with the
Eating the same
shit
exact
day
shit
in
every
and day
day,
out? I don't know.
Well, there's so many things I could say about this.
Say something.
They're not as conscious as we are, so they might not be that acutely aware. Like, my dog is always happy to have his food.
How do you know how conscious your food is?
I don't know, but they're not like analyzing it like we are, or aware
I
of it
know,
like
okay.
we are.
What
right?
if our pets are pea zombies?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I know my dog
How would you know?
because he loves me back.
How do you know?
He responds.
Because I can sense his chi, Steve.
You can sense
Oh
his
my
chi.
God.
You know that network thing you found out? I
Interstitium?
can interconnect with it. We don't know. You don't know if I'm a pea zombie.
I know, you can only infer. It's the simplest explanation is that you're not.
But we all have he's a mammal, right?
I know.
And
I'm just
we
saying.
have the.
My theory
There's some
is that
gradient.
vampires are all pea zombies
Why?
Vampires
because
are?
they're dead,
Oh, interesting.
right?
Interesting.
What if they? And so, you know what I thought about? I actually thought about that when watching True Blood
Yeah.
because you can't read their minds. I'm like, what if they have no?
They
what
have
if
no
they're
mind.
pea
There's-
zombies?
they
They don't
have
have
no
a
thoughts.
mind.
So,
That's
but
why you can't
where's
read
the
them.
mind coming from? Where's the fake mind coming from?
It's just it's just like their brain just running an behavioral algorithm, but there's not any one
It's
experience.
like the ant with the
So
fungus,
there's no
right?
there's
Kind
no
of like
qualia.
There's no qualia.
Grim Beard says a cat will lick its ass for hours, day in and day out. I doubt they're too worried about repetitive food. I know. Dog,
Yeah, and then you got
Not
for a
be for
dog,
flavor.
you got to factor in their amazing sense of smell. I mean,
an order of magnitude, right?
Like 2 orders of magnitude at least. But then I'll never forget the day my dog ate something that made me think, how is this possible? My dog ate.
grass.
All right, this is going to be gross.
slow down.
My dog ate some
Bleep it.
carrion,
Bleep.
some dead flesh.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Came in the house. Ready for
Puked
this?
it up?
Threw it out.
Puked it up
Then ate
and
it
then
again.
ate
the
it.
puke.
It was the most vile thing I have ever
I
smelled
wish
in
you
my
didn't
life.
say that.
Yeah, right.
That's
so
nasty.
how does a creature that can literally smell 100 times better than humans smell that
Because it's
and
not just
think
about
I
in-
want some of that
It's
shit?
not just about intensity.
Yeah.
Again, things do not objectively smell good or bad, right? You evolve to interpret some smells as good and some smells as bad based upon their evolutionary
Right.
And you can
advantages.
train yourself in and out of
Right,
that.
so
too.
some like flies that are
Eating
attracted to the smell. Carrion smells good to them because that's their
Okay.
food. You know, for
How
example.
dogs eat shit too.
Yeah.
Explain that one evolutionarily.
Well,
Shit, there's no
There's probably calories in it,
Uh,
right?
So
Or-
dogs have a lot of behaviors that are about a few things, right? So one is hiding their scent, right, or spreading their scent, right? Well, you know, if they're trying to
Okay,
mark their
fine.
territory, or reclaiming calories that would otherwise be lost, or treating their own stomach sickness. You know, so they eat grass when they're feeling.
Yeah.
All right,
they
so
have tummy
eating crap
problems.
is hiding their scent then?
I don't know. I don't know specifically why they eat their own crap, but they do it for. They must be doing it for some reason.
I was thinking maybe when you
But you can't impose. It's not
a
about the
human-
intensity of
yeah.
their ability to smell. You can't impose human sensibility.
Maybe they're doing fecal
animals.
transplants.
Well, I was
on
thinking maybe at
themselves.
some point when you get 20 times better than human smell, crap somehow smells good to you when you get.
Well, have you ever
I
smelled?
don't think it's.
Listen,
related
it's
to
no
intensity.
coincidence that my dog comes around
Yeah.
primarily when I'm eating 2 different things. If I'm eating pizza, he wants it, and he comes and it's obvious,
Yeah.
right? And steak,
Oh, steak, man.
yeah. So imagine what the eating steak would be.
Yeah, but
My dog likes cheese.
Yeah, I was like, have you smelled cheese? sometimes it's pretty foul, and we eat that.
I don't eat the foul
You
smelling
eat
cheese.
the foul. Well, I've eaten, like the really astringent smelling
Well, there's-
ones. I'll eat those too.
There's
and it's like-
aromatic cheeses. I
Yeah.
do not eat aromatic cheeses
yeah.
because they smell like.
'Cause
I
they smell
like the sharp cheeses.
Sure.
Definitely.
But even sharp ones are pretty,
I like sharp,
Their
hard cheeses.
cheese is really interesting because they're right on the border of tasting wonderful and tasting horrible
What
at
is?
the same time.
Cheese.
in general.
Yeah, just in
Yeah.
general. Like there are
It's
some cheeses where it's kind of walking that line between.
There
This
are
is-
cheeses that are rancid.
Yeah, I don't
Because
like.
it's like, is that bad meat or good cheese? Is like
Yeah.
the thing. It's
Like, what's the one? Is
Yeah.
blue cheese the one that has the cultures in it?
blue
Yeah, it's,
cheese.
That?
I love
For
blue
me-
cheese.
to me, that's
Oh,
horrible.
God, I
Nah,
love
that's
this.
pukey for me. I
Yeah,
can't
it's
eat
totally
it.
salad.
pukey.
Gorgonzola
Ooh,
salad. Come
espresso,
on.
I can't-
espresso cookies, thank you.
Yeah, I
Ooh,
can't do
espresso
gorgonzola
cookies.
anymore.
Really?
They were
Why?
But you put me in
Awesome.
front of Parmesan and Reggiano, like
Yeah.
the real deal. Yeah, and I will bankrupt.
What about
whoever owns
brie?
it.
Are you guys
Yeah.
into like cream, like the brie?
No.
Not
cheeses?
really.
You don't like the
No.
Nope.
soft,
Nope.
semi-soft?
I like moots.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Goat cheese.
Goat cheese
You
is
like goat cheese?
fantastic.
You like goat cheese? Because that has a big flavor profile, right?
I mean, like honey goat cheese, especially if it's mixed with like some berry thing.
a banana?
I mean, just
like feta.
the name turned me off for years. Goat cheese. How does that sound appetizing? I just had no interest in eating it, and then
Well,
I
how
had
is that any different than cow cheese?
cow cheese?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
a
you,
milk,
'cause you
it's a
never
milk
s-
product.
you never look at a wrapper that says cow cheese.
But it is cow cheese.
It doesn't matter. Nobody says that. It's the
Well,
first
there's-
time I
no,
ever
those-
heard the two words together.
those Baby
cow
Bell-
cheese.
the
But
Baby
I'm
Bell
not
goat-
saying
have
you
a
don't
cow on
because
it.
They do.
by default you assume it's cow cheese unless it says it's some other source of cheese. But what's the difference?
Milk.
I mean, just
It's the two words together, goat cheese, just did not sound appetizing. Plus, I'm not a huge cheese guy anyway.
Well, that's the problem right there.
that's part of it. But there are a few now that I've come to
Goat
love.
cheese is fantastic in a salad.
yeah,
Yeah.
feta. I love feta.
Yeah,
in
and
salad.
feta. Feta works too.
Yeah, it's tangy. It just
Hmm.
it has to be that right amount. Too much, it's like too much. But that right amount just adds the perfect amount of tang to your salad.
Yeah. But I absolutely have a winner for me. Like I have a favorite cheese, and I will.
What is it?
Keep it
It's
secret?
it's Parmesan and Reggiano. At any time, if it's there and there's other cheeses, I will eat that, and I don't care about the
Yeah,
other
my
one.
favorite cheese, like by a lot.
Manchego.
No, not even close.
Oh, it's Sardo.
yeah, Argentinian sardo.
Sardo is very similar
It
to
is.
Parmesan.
It is.
It is.
It's
That-
just better.
We grew up
As a
on
table
that.
cheese.
I've always loved that,
Oh,
man.
it's
That and
amazing.
bread. It's like,
I forget it.
That and good Italian bread is.
Oh
is-
my God.
And what did Mom used to eat with that too?
Radishes.
Radishes. That's
I don't
so
know why.
radishes. Radishes
Wow.
are nasty,
That-
and every.
What? The radishes are good.
All right, get out.
All right.
they're
sorry.
not nasty. They're not nasty.
No, but what do you do? You cook them like raw? They're not.
No.
They're
Raw.
nasty.
I mean, you could pickle them. They're pretty good. Like
Yeah,
strips. Pickle. You know,
You guys
they're
ever
good.
had Sardinian maggot cheese?
Someone just brought it up.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
and I
that's
never
the,
will.
Urzo Marzu Urzo.
That's some
no.
horrible.
No, Andrew.
marketing
Why?
right
Why?
there, man.
Why? Why?
Why not?
What?
No, like why? What? It's like you're like that's a dare. That's
Which
like
one?
that's
Which
like
one?
Scottish
You
food.
Maggot
only
cheese.
live once. Might as well kill your. Okay, wait. Maybe I
It's
won't
worse
say
than
that.
haggis because haggis actually could be made so it tastes good.
Yeah.
Right.
Arzu would-
But
I've
that
had
stuff,
some haggis.
that
But
stuff is rancid
Is
by
it even
nature.
haggis anymore? When
Yeah,
they make
it
it for
is.
the tourists?
It is.
Tourist haggis?
I don't think it's.
It's
real
like ground-
It just has a
It's
lot of
ground beef.
seasonings in it, but you're
Yeah.
eating those internal organs. You're eating it.
It's in
Yeah,
there
but-
somewhere.
I still have a theory that what they gave us was such a tourist haggis that the natives.
It wasn't the
that-
real
That the
stuff.
locals would be like, they were laughing at us as we're eating.
Or
it.
are they going,
That's not
shit, that's the way I
haggis."
should have been making it all these years?
Maybe
you know?
I don't know. I never did. I never looked it up. Manchego. I don't know. I don't think I've
I like
ever eaten-
manchego.
You've had
Manchego.
What's it
manchego.
like?
Yeah,
What's it
it's
like?
We've
It's
had
a
it
hard
all
cheese.
the time.
That
It's
doesn't,
good.
that doesn't mean I eat
It's
it.
a
man.
table
seen it.
cheese.
Actually, we just
It's-
had it at Liz's birthday.
Yeah.
party.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
probably.
like
Doesn't mean I ate
it's
it.
like Parmesan, but a little milder and creamier. But
All
it's,
right.
It's a little bit, though.
It's got this on the back of it. You've probably seen it.
It comes in a
look at
wedge.
The rind. That's like
Yeah.
a very.
yeah,
Yeah.
manchego's great. I have a hunk of it. at home.
All right. I think I did have some of that. That wasn't too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean,
All
that
right.
top picture in the middle, yeah, forget it.
Where's this one?
a wheel. Talking about the wheel of manchego.
Well, you see the one in the middle there? That
Yeah.
the color differential and everything, to me, that I'm attracted to that.
yeah,
That's,
the yellower, the more yellow versus the whiter
Yeah.
manchego is
that
better.
one.
yeah,
Sure.
I like that.
It's probably more aged. Right?
So I am, so I talked to Steve about this, and I'm like coming around again. So what I want to do is I want to buy a wheel of legit Parmesan, like the real deal, right?
Parmesan.
Very expensive, but
Let's go to Arthur Ave again, man. Why do
Yeah,
we only
yeah.
go there once every 5 years?
I know.
Why?
Let's
Why?
go. I'll go tomorrow. What do you want to do? I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's go right now. Right now.
So
We'll make it an SGU.
I'm
No,
gonna
we
buy.
can
I want to
stream
buy
it.
All
either
right,
a
we can
half
do a
wheel.
live stream from Arthur Avenue.
Let's
can
do
do
it,
that.
man.
Yeah,
let's
let's
do
do
it.
We'll do that.
That'd be fantastic. Anyway, you guys owe me like something too. I'm like some present, right?
Yeah,
What was the
yeah,
thing?
sure. Yeah, yeah, sure.
Well, yeah, that's a
Oh, no,
birthday
I have it
present
right
gave
here.
you for a
Yeah, I have a coupon.
high tea.
Wait, I have the high tea one, and then I have this.
From who?
Look, Enzo's of Arthur Avenue. I have a coupon right here.
Oh shit.
That's my gift card right there.
How much? From who?
I don't know. You guys got it for
Yeah,
me.
we got it for you.
Oh Jesus. Let's
So,
let's
get a
destroy
wheel,
that
buy a
thing.
wheel. Okay, now you're gonna like, what are you gonna do with it?
But
Because
these
it's
wheels are
huge.
this big.
I know,
It's
Jay.
also,
I know.
what is it, $1,000 or something?
It's hundreds of.
Yeah, but like
dollars.
Ian, so check this out, right?
Yeah, it's like 1,500.
We're gonna have to
think.
eat cheese for a month. I mean,
So,
it goes
Ian,
bad eventually.
Would
I
you
think.
would you buy 3 or 4 pounds if it was less expensive than
Sure.
the store?
Yeah. I mean, of course.
Yeah, so
and also
you-
it would be better.
Steve,
Split it up, man.
Yeah, I would
okay,
cut it out.
okay.
Sell everyone whatever the price would be.
Yeah.
Because if you buy a huge wheel, you're gonna get a discount.
That's not true. Necessarily.
We talked to her.
I know, and you know what? It was the exact same price per pound.
But then I talked to her and I said, "Hey, if I buy that, will you give me a
right.
yeah?" And she was like, "Of course." You know, like of course if you buy it in bulk.
Yeah.
And that was one store we went to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was basically the importer that we have in town.
Well, what about that guy on Arthur Avenue?
Yeah.
That was the best I've ever had, though. By the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
If a wheel falls off a truck, then
Yeah, hey, come on.
Whoa, whoa. All right, what else we got to do? We got to do the TikToks. We get to watch this lady. I forget what she was.
Lady.
It's another dumb one. I don't know. Okay, lady. All right, we'll do a real
People watching the video that I posted a few days ago about how there's nothing that'll kill you faster than obesity and consuming alcohol.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's all true.
so many people are commenting on that, being like, well, what about smoking? Okay, here's the thing. I know that you've seen old ass people smoking cigarettes outside of grocery stores, outside of bars, out like in here in Florida, literally anywhere. There's old ass people smoking cigarettes everywhere. And they started smoking when they were 13 years old. But you know what you don't see? Old ass people who are obese.
All right, stop it there. She just keeps saying that over
Yeah.
and over again. So just you could just stop that video.
Sure.
So first of all, fuck
Thanks,
you.
Steve.
Second of all, she's basically just saying anecdotal evidence, right?
Yeah.
Just all subjective validation you see. So it's just not true. Nothing that she's saying, you know, what she's implying is true. So obviously, you know, there's a ton of data that smoking cigarettes to any amount reduces your life expectancy. You die from smoking cigarettes or any tobacco use, 100%.
Not to mention quality of life.
Yeah, then it's
as
also
well.
not, it's, the ways that you die from smoking are you don't want fucking lung cancer.
yeah.
That's like a horrible way to go.
Oh, that's oh God! Imagine suffocating slowly. Well,
It's just terrible.
Aren't lung transplants totally a thing?
Yeah, but it's hard. I mean,
yeah, that's
And
right.
also, how
Sharon's like,
many
is
is
she
the- is the
driving? She was like
availability?
driving that car.
No, no,
and she's-
it's flipped.
It's
She
flipped,
pans
yeah.
over, and whoever is next.
I don't. You can't prove that.
Okay. That's all AI.
and yes, obesity is also associated with lower longevity. But
So what's the point? The point is like you could smoke when you're old.
It was like disease I think she's making the point that it's like we focus so much on the cancer and not on the obesity epidemic.
but
or
it is
something.
a bigger risk for dying.
right.
So whatever. It's just
sure.
stupid.
And you know, look,
it sounds like a smoker rationalizing the fact
That's
that
a
they want
good
to
point
smoke.
too. Yeah.
at least
Yeah,
the
right.
obesity one to me is like, well, at least you got there nicely. You know what I mean? Like, smoking is disgusting and everything about it is horrific.
You got there eating cheese.
Yeah, but I mean, if you ended up dying from being obese, at least you got like to eat whatever the hell you wanted for a couple of decades.
okay.
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying, like, if I had to pick one of the two, I'd pick obesity because I would enjoy the ride down.
This is why I wrote Disease Olympics is calling this. Is like which one is worse is like, but I don't know. Obese people don't go outside of the restaurant, bar, or grocery store
When they want to
I
be.
mean, yeah, I guess that's true. They look old because of the smoking. Yeah, I guess there's.
Yeah, right. They're actually
right.
these super ass people smoking. They're
30.
actually 40 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because they look. Remember, my dad had a friend when we were kids
Yeah.
who was a alcoholic.
Oh, that guy.
Remember,
DL.
He wrecked himself.
He wrecked himself.
Wrecked himself.
I remember seeing he was
Dennis?
sitting next to it was Collins, Mr. Collins,
Oh,
the young Mr. Collins.
yes.
And I remember seeing him in our house sitting next to Dad, and the guy left, and I remember going to Dad, I'm like, who is that old guy? And Dad's like, oh, he's my age. I was like, what?
Whoa.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like my dad was in good shape. You know, he was losing his hair from like his 20s basically, but he still looked like a young middle-aged guy, and his friend looked 70, 80. And I'm talking like 1980s 80.
Yeah.
Not 80 today. Like
Yeah.
old. He even dressed old. He had like one of those big puffy sweaters with the big collar, you know, like those old
So-
you know.
You know, as a physician, you interact with a lot of people where you know their age, and of course you examine them, and you have a pretty good idea what physical shape they're in.
Drinking, yeah.
You don't always know the exact age of every
Strangers on
acquaintance
the
or everybody,
street, yeah.
strangers that you
Right,
see
right.
or whatever. But I have a database of thousands of people where I know their age and I know like what physical shape they're in pretty good detail.
What's your
Well,
So I have a lot of conclusions from that, which matches the data. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I've experienced that firsthand, is that basically anybody could coast until you're about 40, right?
in terms of a drinking
I mean,
drinking life,
yeah, whatever.
smoking
So-
lifestyle?
Well, I mean, if you're a heroin addict, no. But I mean, short of like really, really extreme problems, most people, right, within 2 standard deviations of whatever your lifestyle factors are, yeah, you can coast through your 30s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But after that, people really start to diverge in terms of how old they look and what kind of physical shape they are and their lifestyle factors. And the number one thing that makes people age
Smoking.
no is alcohol.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. Smoking is up there as well, and
But
of course they
alcohol-
often go together.
Yeah. But
Right.
so you're saying alcohol does more damage then?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
at least according to for a parent age
For apparent age and overall health.
and overall
Yeah.
health even.
And cognitive health, everything.
Damn,
yeah,
man.
So alcoholics, man, you add 10, 20, 30 years to their age in terms
Wow.
of, oh yeah, it wrecks you. Absolutely. Being an alcoholic, not just like a
Right,
casual
but I would
user.
say I would even say casual use because, you know, I'm in my
It's
late
a,
50s.
it's a spectrum.
You look
right?
at people you went to high school with.
Yeah.
As a test, and
I don't recommend it.
I don't recommend regular frequent alcohol use.
I don't.
No, I don't recommend looking at people you went to high school with when you're my age because I look and I'm like, that's
An old person.
that's an old. I mean, I swear some of the people I've seen look 15 years older than me.
Oh, that's
It's
what
like,
that was my
what
point.
the hell? How did I graduate?
But
with
there
that
are some
person?
people though, like you know, I shouldn't name any names, but like
don't
some
name
people I
names.
look at, I'm like, wow, they're doing what I'm doing. Like they're taking care of themselves. They're not taking drugs. They're not smoking. They're not doing all the big bads, right?
Yeah.
And markedly at this age, and you get to your late 50s, early 60s, there is a massive demarcation
Those lines
line.
diverge
huge.
significantly. And by the flip of that is I've had patients in their 90s. I'm like, fuck, this guy could be in their 60s.
Whoa.
They're just like these super agers because they're in shape, you know, and they don't smoke, they don't drink,
What do you do?
They exercise. What you do, you do. Yeah.
Remember that Adam
Yeah,
Ant
Yeah,
song?
of course.
Yeah, but still, at that point, Steve, you got to say
There's also jeans.
They got some
There's-
good.
oh,
Oh, they
Absolutely.
always wear good jeans?
Yeah, they have good style designer
skinny
jeans.
jeans.
Levi's.
Turns
Oh.
out
No,
skinny
no.
jeans
I mean
is the key.
that's like the perfect storm where you have good genes and good lifestyle factors, but you
like your
can't-
mother-in-law. She's
Yeah.
like barely
yeah.
human.
She's
at
going to
this-
be 100 in February. 100
Wait.
years old.
That's awesome.
Oh wow,
That's pretty
She's-
cool.
Oh, I thought she was 98. That was last year.
That was last
so
year.
she's 99. Oh,
Yes, 99. She's going to be 100.
Amazing.
And she's just now starting to slow down.
I figured out why she's still alive. Because one of her friends
Deal with the devil.
one of her friends
Can I get a
She has a
meeting?
painting. in the-
became Death, right?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Right, so Death said, I'm not doing this anymore. Somehow the cosmic universe picked her friend, and now when her friend comes, he's like, I'll give you another 5. You know? Have fun, you know.
That's probably it. No, she's just genetically her
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, you're lucky,
they-
Steve.
Yeah,
Your kids are going to live long lives.
Yeah.
right.
My kids
think
talk
we're-
to me. My kids ask me questions like this because they're talking about death. Like
Yeah.
and you know, there's no.
Your kid's dead.
The kid's dead. I educate my children on religion like it's history, not like it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Tell
anything
them
to believe
about
in.
it, not to believe it.
So what I tell them is, listen, you know, it would be great if we all could, you know, live extended lifespans, whatever. I said, but you're the generation, if there ever is a generation that is going to probably have some life extension, you know, medical interventions happening,
up,
you
Skip the
guys
Bread
are
Line?
probably going to be the first. It's way too late for me, but you guys, you know,
It's too late for
50
me,
years
son.
from now, with AI, you know, artificial intelligence, like doing a lot of medical research and, you know, turning,
I wouldn't promise
Maybe.
that.
I'm not promising them, but I'm
know.
telling them,
More
like,
likely would be their quality of life will be great.
Yeah.
Well into their 80s
We
or
hope.
90s,
Yeah.
potentially.
Not gonna-
I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I'm like,
Well, we've got genetically anyway. I mean, look at our grandparents. I think
Mom's
what-
parents.
what was
80s,
it?
90s.
80s, 90s. It's not like Jocelyn's mom,
Yeah.
mom, which is upper 90s. But I mean,
But, Bob, they
and our
all-
parents and grandparents did not like.
they didn't exercise.
They did not
They-
like working out was like when they would golf, they would ride that electric cart.
And they all
would
they,
nev-
they smoked,
They smoked for 30
majority of
years.
their
smoked
lives.
for many years. So I think, and there's very little cancer in our family, right?
That's true.
So I feel lucky genetically anyway. So fingers crossed, man. Probably get hit by a car tomorrow, but hey.
We got 30 more years of the podcast.
I don't know.
Probably not.
I've thought about
Die
that.
Can't die on the show.
You know what? I'm
Die on
doing it.
camera.
I'm doing it by the decade now. Like I know that we're gonna be doing this 10 years from now, but
Yeah.
I can't see beyond that. 'Cause who
Beyond that,
knows?
it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
All right.
We have to
let's-
recruit the next generation.
That's true.
Yeah, but where are these people?
There's people on there. We gotta get back into that idea of the what
Yeah,
do
the
you call it?
affiliates.
Yeah, I
or
can't do
what-
anything until we're back from
I
Australia.
know.
and
There's
New
so many
Zealand.
trips. We need.
You have
need
to stop
clone
going on
ourselves.
trips.
I am at the point now with this Australia New Zealand thing where I'm like I'm going to have to drop out on days and be like I can't. I got things I have to do.
Well, so let's
we're
talk about,
we're sub 2 months now. You know what I mean?
let's talk about next week just to prep people for the live stream. I mean, I guess we could still do the live stream, maybe a little bit shorter. It's before the Wisconsin show, right?
So we're leaving
So we're leaving
Friday.
Friday. So you
29th.
So we have time. We could do the probably. the
Yeah,
Wednesday,
2 days before we leave. I mean,
What you guys are
probably, right?
recording on Thursday still?
No, we're doing Monday next
I
week.
think this is what I think we should do next week.
Yeah.
We should do either
prep.
Tuesday or Wednesday, but not both. Maybe what we should do is just plan to do an AQ6 episode, just one AQ6 episode in a short live stream on Wednesday, not do Tuesday.
That's
that
a good
way,
idea.
because
Yeah.
we're recording the show on Monday.
Monday.
I have to do post-production before we leave.
Right.
I'll
We need
probably
to
do
pack.
that Tuesday.
We need to pack Tuesday maybe too.
Yeah.
Need to pack, and then I already packed the swag. I need to pack the VIP swag, which I don't have yet.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
But just to prep
Jay,
people
what
for
area-
Yeah, we gotta
what
prep
airport are
next
we going
week.
out of?
But and to prep us.
so let's just say that that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
No Tuesday. We'll do
No
one
Tuesday,
AQ6
short.
and a short
I think
live
we're doing
stream
LGA. I can't
on
remember.
Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's. I think the only other thing we were going to do is do the vitamin K shots, and we could either talk about that together or we could do a TikTok solo.
Let's just talk about it together.
Okay, and I'll just switch. I'll use that as the TikTok.
Yeah,
All right, let's.
that's
Let
fine.
me bring that up.
All right, so we're out of here.
No, you
No,
guys
let's
can-
just talk about it together real quick, and then we'll be done. So,
The guy lost the baby.
well, vitamin K. Well, yeah, I guess that's what the.
This
No, I
is
mean,
infuriating.
he's missing. He's
Absolutely
It's missing. Yeah, no,
infuriating.
the baby is not miss. Okay.
What?
Yeah, so babies are bleeding to death because parents are rejecting vitamin K shots. So
That's
why don't we
true?
talk about that? Yeah, Steve, go ahead.
I don't want to
So-
talk about that. Jesus.
This
I
is
know.
this is not a new thing, but it's getting worse. Getting worse partly because of the whole just anti-mainstream medicine backlash from COVID, which is fucking stupid, and because of RFK Jr. and just the whole Maha thing, which is fucking stupid. But basically, a certain percentage of children are born with vitamin K deficiency. And vitamin K is critical for blood clotting. And so usually like 3 to 6 weeks after they're born, they're at higher risk of having a spontaneous bleed. And if they bleed into their brain,
And vitamin K just helps blood clots form, and you're good.
yeah, you're good. It basically,
And-
so
What later in life? Do they need it later in life? Or is
not
it just
necessarily, they could outgrow it.
What's
Oh,
the
but I know-
harm, Steve? Why are people
So
not wanting a simple vitamin shot?
right, it's a vitamin shot, right, that we give to infants. Now, if you get the vitamin shot, you're 80. It's say it the other way. If you don't get the vitamin shot, you're 81 times more likely to die of a brain bleed in 6 weeks than if you do
Jesus
get
Christ.
Brain bleed. What's
Brain
that?
bleed.
Okay.
A brain bleed.
You don't know what a Blaine is?
A Blaine.
To Blaine.
In the Blaine.
To
To Blaine. Right, a brain bleed. So it is a public health measure, right? Rather than, and this is, again, because doctors are actually thoughtful scientists who research every fucking way you could possibly imagine a question. That's why it's so infuriating when people are second guessing medical practice. It's like, you realize how much ink was
Yep.
spent on just the smallest little
On
details of
standard
the
of care.
decision making, and So in this case, it's like, all right, so we know this thing exists, right? A certain percentage of kids have vitamin K deficiency. It increases their risk for catastrophic, often fatal bleeding in infancy, right? Within 6 weeks or so after they're born. So you could either test every infant for the condition,
Right.
or
Just give them a damn
just give
shot.
everybody a vitamin K shot.
Give them a $2 shot.
Give them a cheap vitamin shot, right? And so the evidence clearly favors just giving everybody a vitamin shot because the test is not as accurate, whatever, just percentage wise.
Yeah, just
the risk versus benefit massively favors just give everybody a vitamin K shot. It's no risk. It's a fucking vitamin. And it massively reduces your risk of bleeding. So it's standard. So there's 3 things that every infant gets, right? Which is just standard first, and they're all based upon this idea that it's just better to universally treat than to stratify risk or to do a test or whatever.
Okay.
So one is vitamin K. You know what the other 2 are?
Food and water.
No, I'm talking about medical interventions for newborns that are just public health measures that are done even though most kids don't have them, just so that everyone's universally covered.
Damn, I can't.
One is actually ran in our family and would not have happened if
retinitis pigmentosa?
Well, that's not what our relatives had.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, so you put silver nitrate or antibiotics in the eye so they don't go blind from syphilis, right? And then the third one is hepatitis B vaccine.
Oh, there you go.
Right. So RFK Jr. just said we're going to take away the hepatitis B vaccine as a universal for newborns. And now they're pushing back against vitamin K. And RFK Jr. refused to support it when he was asked about it in Senate hearings.
Fuck that guy. Just fuck that guy to hell. I told you.
So we're seeing an uptick now in infants dying of brain bleeds because they're refusing vitamin K shots just because of conspiracy theories and stupidity and misinformation and TikTok and all that shit. All that shit, Mahab nonsense. It's completely unnecessary.
So if a parents decide that we're not going to do the vitamin K shot, could they do a test and say, hey, wait, your kid is actually at risk? Could they do that?
I don't think so.
It might help.
But I don't know that we.
Well, that costs money, and insurance might not pay for it, Bob, because insurance doesn't pay for anything anymore.
Well, you're overstating it, but they would pay for that because that's cost effective. But I don't know that we have an adequate test that would come back in time and that would make it.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll pay for things for a newborn, but if you're, just an adult living your life and you need something, like they just don't care. I mean, they literally are. It's all all of the money grabbing is happening right out in the open now.
Oh yeah.
But be happy.
Good takeaway.
Don't let the fact that horrible people who are uneducated and have lots of problems are making massive decisions for us, our children. RFK. It's none of his goddamn business what these parents do. Mm-hmm. None of his business. If maybe I shouldn't say that. In his position.
Well, the thing is, he has not said anything about vitamin K shots for infants. And in fact, that was his response. I've never said anything about it. But the senator's like, yeah, but isn't it your job to are you saying right now you won't say publicly that parents should give their kids vitamin K injections? And so all he has to do is say, I don't know, and not say anything, right? But it's his job to know the data, and it's his job to support.
That's what I meant.
Common sense, cost effective, and medically effective public health measures. This is what the government is supposed to do, right? He's doing everything he can to work against these, effective public health.
No,
it's incredible, man.
He is
It's
running.
incredible.
He is running the United States Health Organization like a goddamn revenge move on all of the things that he doesn't agree with no science backup whatsoever.
He's the worst secretary this country has ever had.
Will ever have.
Or will ever have.
Hopefully. Will.
Yeah, hopefully.
I don't say that too so quick. Yeah.
And Cassidy, who just lost his election to get renominated.
And he's a scumbag too, but still.
It's his fault. That rests right on his shoulders because he's a physician who was on the committee that could have ended RFK's advancement.
One guy could have done it?
Yeah.
I think it was
he was a swing
close
vote.
of a vote. Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
He could have that one guy who's a physician.
Yeah, he has no excuse.
Who 100% knew better. And he did it to suck up to Trump in the hopes
Yeah.
that it would save him because he voted to impeach him,
And
right?
it didn't save him.
And
See
it
how-
didn't
yeah,
save him.
See how that didn't help.
You know, so
And
sucking
now-
up to Trump is not
And now
worth it.
he's got a body count. He literally has
Yes.
got a body
Yeah.
count.
Well, he had one before. Well,
Now it's even
He
higher.
might have had one before. I'm just saying, allegedly, legally. All right. Well, that's all right. There we go.
You know, but not that, nothing supernatural claim here, but we're skeptics here, and we have a very strong reason to continue to be skeptics and push skepticism and critical thinking, and individual people matter. It's not just, we're on a podcast and people listen to us or whatever, but it's out in the real world, passing people good information. If you know anybody that's pregnant, before any of the bullshit completely sinks in from all the nonsense they're going to hear from all the people that pregnant woman is going to meet throughout the the term of that baby, make some subtle information drops on them. Hey, I just read this article about this thing where they're saying, like, if kids don't get the
I guarantee you we've written about it on Science-Based Medicine.
yeah. But that's the
Link
thing.
on the article.
It's you don't have to come over hit them over the head with a frying pan, or teach them about critical thinking.
But if that's
which
what
is
it
hard.
takes,
But-
bring the frying pan.
But think about it, because there's a large number of skeptics out there, and we can affect people's lives. And
sure
for
seems
us-
like we can't.
we can, Bob. We can affect the people's lives that are in our circles, and we can,
Yeah.
and we have.
I
And
can't,
we,
I
and we
can't
have
deny that. It seems like after how many multiple decades,
How much worse would it be, though?
Look where we are.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it being much worse than it is right now.
I said this before, though.
It was worse before
The
skepticism.
the
existed.
United States needs us more now than it ever did. Us, you know what I mean? It needs the critical thinkers that are here. We need to be the voice of reason. The only way to get back from where we are is to claw our way back. And it's going to be hard, and it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of pain and human life. It's going to take all that, but we can't give up, because in 9 months, the freaking House and Senate could flip if everything goes right. You know what I mean? If major
If they
major
haven't
moves-
gerrymandered their way out.
Well, I'm
of it.
worried. I'm just worried about them marshaling in police forces at polling to
Yeah.
try to get people to not vote. Whatever. The bottom line is, though, the change is going to happen, whether it's in a year or 2 years, whatever. But we gotta be pushing back. All of us have to push back in any way we can. That's
So
it.
write your representatives. That apparently does work.